not do things.
Look at that. Look who's live now. I need you to speak up.
Hello?
Okay, that pisses me off.
That pisses a lot of people. Where did you get this chair, bro?
Had that probably since I was born.
Yo, why have I not seen this? Is it probably because what I'm doing right now?
Yeah, it probably plays a part.
This thing's awesome.
You kind of need to like speak up, you know?
Is it the speakers all the way over there?
That's the Spotify speaker. By the way, we had some views on the last one. It was like 5 and 6, but for neither one of us and Jose not telling anybody, we got 5 or 6 random people to view them.
Yeah, one of those was me. And then I didn't finish it because I fell asleep listening to it. Then I listened to it again.
The Spotify one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I never listened to the Spotify one, so we
too.
got 4 on Spotify then.
I'm pretty sure Jose listened to it.
Alright, we got 3.
We did get 3 though, unless Jose listened to it twice.
You might have listened to it 4 times.
You have
wrong.
at least one random person.
Yeah, for sure one random.
For sure one.
At least clicked on it for a second.
And
and went,
did you follow?
oh, dude, yeah.
Never mind. I was gonna say we got 2 followers. You and Jose.
That's me and Jose.
Alright, I was gonna say it's been a while, but I saw you last week.
I saw you last week.
You drove me home from work.
I did drive you home from work. I've
Was it even last week or was it?
It was
Monday, right?
No, it would have been
It
Friday.
was Friday.
Oh yeah, it happened on Thursday.
It happened on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your car doing, by the way?
Back.
He got it back yesterday.
That's what's parked out there.
Yeah. There's like 2 small dents that I would only notice because I know they're there. Did you notice any dents in my car? Yeah. So.
What are the 2 empty spots in the front?
They just haven't clipped them in yet.
Oh, okay. I noticed that.
Yeah. There's 2 small dents that insurance wouldn't cover.
Losers.
For real?
I guess we can tell this story. Matthew hit a deer, which I guess isn't. I'd be the last one in this group to do that.
Yeah. Tell us, dude, never hit a deer.
Yeah. That's a fun experience if you've never done it. Definitely recommend.
Wait till you have to get out and kill it.
Oh, you did do that.
I did do that.
Oh yeah, he killed the deer that he hit.
Like for fun or just like?
No, I'm not
Okay.
psychotic. it was a baby deer. What do they call fawn?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was a fawn, and it had little dots over it. It was kind of cute. And it ran out in front of me, and I heard it. I hit it, and it went, and it spun, and I was like, oh. And I stopped, and I get out, and it's on the ground. It's whatever. No one's gonna listen to this. It's like its legs were like every other direction, and I don't know, back in high school, you might have seen it. I carried this ridiculous knife with me everywhere because I thought I was like David Bowie or something. And it was a massive blade. I pulled it out and took care of the deer. It was never walking again, and it was sitting there moaning.
Moaning was a weird word to use right
It was sitting there.
there. I don't know if moaning is the right term.
What's the right term then?
What about moaning?
It wasn't screaming.
Whining.
Whining. Probably the best one you could have used.
Yeah, I could have definitely used whining. I don't know. It sounded like a moan to me. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, she hit a bear.
My dad hit a bear.
Hit a bear.
North
About
Carolina.
a year and a half ago. 5 minutes from my house.
I don't know where the bear was from.
My dad hit one down in Jacksonville by the beach.
That's crazy.
I don't know how he did it. He was going back home. He dropped me off on base, and
That's where you hit one of your deer too, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't go out there. Well, don't go out there at all. Actually, not even for that reason.
Unless you're looking for a disease that's airborne somehow, don't go down there.
No clue how the audio is going to work on Spotify. They got a whole new setup.
Only one way to find out.
We tried testing it, and I couldn't figure it out. So,
Oh, we'll see how that works.
that's why I'm saying you guys speak up.
Speak up.
Yeah. I think the camera's got a nice setup this time.
I got a spinny chair this time. I'm gonna get this chair every time.
So any updates since the first? I mean, we don't have Jose on this one. Jose's never coming back. Jose won't be on this thing for another 6 years. So
He's only got 2.5 more years. Got 1.5. What a loser. 569 days ish.
oh yeah, I forgot you counted down.
I see how close I was. I keep track in my head, so obviously.
Oh gosh. God.
How many days till August 30th, 2025?
This guy failed consumer math. So.
Guess how many days I was off?
3.
Okay, I was proud of the number, but what, 3 nonsense, bro? You think I'm that good at head math? I have got it within 3. Every day I count down 1 and remember to. Bro, I work for 48 hours straight sometimes. You think I get those days right?
I take a guess.
16.
Lower.
Oh,
13.
Lower.
9.
Nailed it.
Oh, look at me.
I added the 9 because I thought it'd be a funny number to round to. And I'm at 560.
Oh, okay.
So it was 569 was the number
Yeah,
I rounded to.
it's close enough.
You say you rounded
Yeah.
a whole number?
Well, I didn't know
What
I
are
was
you talking
No,
about?
I didn't know I was at 560. I knew I was in the between 70s and 60s-ish, so I went with 69. And I was pretty close.
Alright. Yeah, nothing else. Just anything else happened since our last call? We went
Last
to
call.
our only video.
our only other podcast.
We went to. Where did we go last night? What's the name of it?
Oh, the melting pot.
Melting Pot last night.
Place is good. Went there once.
Very good, yeah.
That was my first time ever going. I'd never been.
I used to live right next to it, so I went once by
I
myself.
feel like you've lived everywhere. Lived in Youngsville, lived in STEM, you lived here.
I also lived here, in the vicinity of where that couch used to be.
R.I.P. couch.
That couch died a horrible death.
Yeah. That couch saw some rough times. And some rough body parts.
Well, I don't think that. You don't. Never mind. You don't want to know
Thanks,
the truth.
Jose.
You don't want to know where the truth of where he actually slept. So. I promise it's not the bear. I promise it's not the bear. I actively, in my stupor that night, moved the bear away from Jose. I gave it to Jake. So.
Hoffler?
Yeah. Better, considering the circumstances.
We
Considering
hosted
Software was closed.
a 4th of July party. Ended up Jose almost drowning in the pool.
No, I was the first one that almost drowned. And it wasn't almost drowning. I intentionally did it.
Yeah.
That's worse.
'Cause that's how that
way worse. It's way. That's not even close to me.
Well, I got drunk and I thought I was Aquaman. And so...
This guy scuba dives and thinks he can breathe underwater.
So I went to the bottom and I was trying to see how long I could hold my breath, which doing drunk is probably a horrible idea. But I interlaced my hands around like the little thingy at the bottom so I couldn't float up to the top. And I was just sitting down
Yeah,
there.
that's worse.
Well, I could let go if I wanted to. But then Alexa...
Alexa?
I think it was her.
Like the...
No. I thought her name was Alexa. That brunette female that was there. That cut someone's hair. I think it was Jose's hair.
Oh, Alexandra.
That was close. Alexandra jumped in and...
You met Alexandra?
No.
Uh,
Briefly.
She's definitely... I'm not gonna say. She's dope. She's a
Yeah.
good person.
She was
She's a really
nice.
good person. I remember that because like before I stopped being conscious, she was super nice and like trying to keep me and Jose alive. And then to the point where she jumped in the pool and swam to the bottom and started pulling on my legs to get me to let go, and I was sitting down there just holding on.
Where was I during this whole...
You do.
There's no
you dipped.
telling.
You dipped, bro. You
There's
dipped
no
at this
telling.
point tonight.
By the way, it's not because I was drinking that I dipped. I was hosting this thing. I just was, I guess, somewhere else.
At a
I was
certain,
with my dad most of the night.
at a certain point in the night, you just like
You kind of gave up, I'm assuming.
Oh,
Not really
well, it was
good.
a work. Like I had work the next day.
you'd work.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry.
that's why I stopped it at 1 a.m. And I said, everybody, like, if you're not staying the night, you gotta go home.
What
Yeah.
day of the week was this on?
It's 4th of July. It was
Oh,
probably
okay,
like a
okay.
Monday.
I don't know why I was thinking Christmas in my head, even
No,
though you
no.
definitely
Yeah, no.
said 4th of July. Yeah.
No, that was 4th of July, and then
Yeah, I stopped
yeah,
it.
Alexandra pulled me out of the pool, and then it was like 20 minutes after that, because I did it again, and then she didn't even attempt to save me that time. But I mean, that's fair. She literally pulled me out of the pool once. And I told her, I got to the top, and I was like, hey, I'm just seeing how long I can hold my breath. She's like, it's probably not a good idea to do this drunk. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
I'm fine. I can breathe underwater.
Okay. I'm just seeing how long I can hold my breath, but don't worry, I can breathe underwater, so either way, I'm fine.
Yeah.
No possible way this ends badly.
And then Jose did the same thing. 'cause-
Jose wasn't doing. Jose was just like this.
well,
Just
I,
like and like water would just go into his mouth. He'd be like, "Bro, that's not safe. That's not. We shocked that pool today."
Oh god.
I didn't remember that. All I knew is he said he was getting in the water with it. Let's go to the bottom, and I thought he was down there with me. So I guess he was just at the top, just sucking in water. I also remember that was the Alexander was cutting his hair, and I walked up with like a pair of scissors, and I was like, "Hey, these are like skin safe, right?" And someone went no, and I was like, "Oh, tough luck," and I grabbed his like chest hairs.
Oh yeah, you were cutting his chest hair with like scissors. Oh, first off, Jose's got mean chest hair.
Oh yeah,
Like
that
some of the
Well,
meanest.
it's Mexican.
that dude's got a sternum bush and a half. That thing is nuts.
You're the. If nobody ever sees us, we're getting banned. Just from your
What do you mean?
phrases.
What do you mean? How's that racist?
What? It's not racist at all. It's not
I thought you said it. I thought you said, well, how are we gonna get banned for being racist? I'm like, nothing we've said is racist so far.
Not what
Yes.
I said.
Oh, what'd you say?
You said we're gonna get banned for this.
Yeah, just from your phrases.
Sternum bush?
Just don't say that.
What's wrong with
Like,
the sternum?
nobody's taking that the right way.
Sternum bush.
Anyway.
I stand by it. My dad taught me that one.
His dad used to be a pastor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you gotta tell the story of the last time they went to church in downtown Raleigh.
Oh my.
They had
I can't.
communion.
I don't listen on the internet. I don't want to remember it happened.
Alright, I'll tell the story then.
No, it wasn't.
No,
This
he,
wasn't.
he does a good job.
This wasn't in downtown Raleigh.
I thought he said it was. I thought
No, I went to that church too, and that church was nice. And my dad behaved there. Well, my dad wasn't misbehaving. He just is dim. Yeah. I don't know how your church does communion. If they do like the pass around the cups, or
So it's like a tray, and then there's like the little holes that have the cups in
Yep.
them.
Yep,
Yeah, and then like the bread is basically a plate. It's got little pieces.
That's how I grew up with it.
Yeah.
Just use the plate and the bread.
Yeah.
That's normal. We went to this Methodist church for a while because my dad really liked the pastor that was there. And they did like a changeover. That's how they used to do it. They
Yeah.
did a changeover in like the Methodist people and
Mhm.
flip flop. And it was some like crazy lady showed up, and when the crazy lady showed up, me and my dad kind of stopped going. But they're having a guest speaker there a couple months later. We're like, all right, we'll go back. That used to be the church we went to for like 4 years anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to hear this guest speaker, and we went, and it was super nice there, and everything was good. And they were like, they started doing communion, and they're like, hey, we're gonna have like someone holding like a cup of wine and like a thing of bread.
Yeah.
So they were doing like the holding it up there thing, and me and my dad are always in the back row, like back row Baptist my whole life.
Yeah.
And we start like going up, and we're like obviously the last people, so everyone else is sitting down by the point that we're getting up there. And I go up there, I act like a normal human being. They already have they have a piece of bread, and they tore it off for me and handed it to me. And I was like, thank you. And they say their thing, and I went to the next person to say their thing, and I dip it in. I don't need the instructions, I got it. Apparently there's a reason there's instructions. I didn't even listen to it because I understood what you did. You dip it and you eat it.
Yeah.
You walk away. Dip it, eat it. I do communion like a normal human being that's been to church their entire life.
Yeah.
I walk away, and I look back to my dad getting to the grape juice wine lady. And I guess he ate the bread like immediately,
Mm-hmm.
and then he gets to the cup and then like takes it, like she's holding it like this out in front of her. So also kudos on her for holding it out the whole time. But he like looks at her, and she's saying her thing, and like this is the blood, and he like takes it and then just like pulls it towards him and then drinks out of it. And I being horrified because we're the last people. We are everyone
Yeah,
else is going to
yeah.
sit down or sitting down. And so the entire front row that's right there,
Yeah.
they've been sat down. I just walk out. I'm done. I quit. This isn't my church anymore anyway. I don't know these people. Not my problem. I walk out the back, go to the car. I'm just sitting on the hood. And I guess my dad figured out like 10 minutes later. Well, he figured out what he had done
Yeah.
pretty quickly, but everyone was just kind of like... And this lady looked horrified. She
I'm
was like,
sure.
what? And we walk out to the... like I'm already sitting in the car. And I get out there, I'm like, yo, Dad, what the heck was that? And he was like, I kind of reverted. I'm like, reverted to what? Who did that? At what point in your life did anyone do communion like that? He was like, when I was a kid, the old Baptist church I went to did that. That's the last time I had done the go up there and get the bread and the cup thing. And I was like, you didn't see the 180 people before you not do that? You didn't see me, the guy directly in front of you, not do that? And you just thought you're going to revert back to when you were 16 going to church in 1920?
Keep in mind, He was a pastor after
Yeah.
he went
He
to
was a
church
pastor for 15 years.
They never did communion?
No, they did the pass around the cup and break, so it was a Baptist church.
Right, okay.
And I guess they only have back rows at his church.
See, I didn't know they spoke to you at those churches. So the first time I went to one,
Mhm.
and they were doing, like, they were telling you.
Yeah.
I don't know what they said. Do you know what they said?
Well,
This is the body of Christ.
Yeah, this is the body of Christ. This is the blood or whatever. But
Okay.
if you're
But it-
Catholic, it's different. It's kind of like a
They
yeah, and it's.
I didn't get to do that. I accidentally converted by doing this number. Not
What do you
knowing.
mean accidentally?
How do you-
converted?
what?
That's not what that means.
No, that's, and they're like,
It's just you receiving a blessing. It's
Yeah.
just like praying for
Alright.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
because whenever we have a
This
Catholic
isn't-
meal, I don't go up there. But, I mean, some of my other coworkers will still go just kind of as a sign of respect and do this. But
Aren't they Catholic? They're not?
Kay's not.
This doesn't mean like you believe in the Catholic.
Hey,
It's just a
hey,
blessing.
Hey, I didn't know they were I didn't know they were saying stuff like over while
Yeah.
you did it.
Yeah.
And so
Like, hey, this is
they
the body
started
of Christ.
saying it, and I was like, "What's up?" in front of everybody. And they kept talking. I was like, "What up?" I couldn't hear
You
them.
said what up?
Yeah, I said, "What up?"
What kind of church was this?
Is it the downtown one?
It's the one. It's honestly, we and you were talking that weekend.
It's
You
that
remember?
the downtown.
Yeah.
The-
Yeah, it was really
yes.
nice.
Okay. I know.
Yeah, well,
Everyone's in ties and like super dressed up too.
Yeah.
They weren't dressed up.
By the time I went, my dad said we're going. Bro wakes me up on Sunday, and he goes, "Hey, we're going somewhere," and I'm like, I look, it's a little bit early for church, and I was like, I figured we're going to breakfast, right? And so I throw on, like, honestly, the Methodist church we went to is more laid back. It was like jeans and a flannel. So I threw on jeans and like a nice t-shirt, because I thought like, hey, we're probably gonna come home, or if not, I'm gonna go home first and like throw on a flannel, or maybe throw on some. Worst case scenario, I go to church in a nice t-shirt on one Sunday. It's not the end of the world. So I throw on jeans and a t-shirt, and I throw on my Vans or whatever. Walk out the door, get in the car, and I notice he's a little dressed up. Like my dad's like not fastidious. I don't know. He dresses up pretty, like he randomly dresses up nice because he feels like it.
Mhm.
So he's wearing a vest with like
Can't
a
say
pocket
anything.
chain. Yeah. Well, he goes like vest, tie, pocket chain, going from like into like the dress pants. He's got his dress shoes on. He's got his wingtips and everything. I'm like, I figure he's just dressed up 'cause he's dressed up.
Yeah.
So it's not uncommon for my dad. And like, his wife at the time wife now gets in the car.
Wife at the time, I was like, "Your mom?"
no,
Because I
wife
had
now.
two.
Wife now. I don't know what I said at the time. Still married.
Girlfriend at the time, wife now, right?
No, wife at the time. But when this
Oh, I
happened,
thought they
wife.
just got married.
We didn't move in with them until they were married.
Oh, no.
They've been married for like 4 or 5 years.
Oh, so this is the past 5 years.
So when I moved into this house, they were married.
Right.
So when
They
we
were-
started,
Were they
talking-
married when you lived here still? Oh, really?
We
Okay,
did.
so-
They were married when we moved into that house. So it's probably more like 6, 7 years.
Okay, then I was off. I thought they got married in between.
You didn't really
that
know
and
me
then.
until I lived in this house, and that's when they were
I
married.
didn't know you lived anywhere but there until I found out you grew up in Youngsville. I didn't know you.
I only
easily
went to
moved
like
in the house about a year.
K5 in Youngsville. Then my parents got divorced. They stopped
Okay.
loving each other.
How do I respond? He makes fun of it. He says he's
I
the
know.
fault.
you don't have to respond. You're like,
He-
okay.
I don't
Come
say-
on. Like, what do
I
you
didn't say
mean?
it sounds bad. But
I don't say I'm the fault. I am the fault. What do you mean?
It's not true.
That and like the 6
There were many
miscarriages
different-
leading up to me.
Okay, there were many different
Whoa.
factors.
You're not ready for this.
There were many different factors.
Or the one that was alive for like a year. And
Okay,
then-
again,
and then
there's
died.
also many different factors in that relationship.
Also, she was suicidal.
Okay.
Crazy.
There's many
Who
different
you talking
factors in
about?
that
My mom?
relationship.
My mom's nuts.
Okay, you're acting like I don't literally have to deal with this like all the time.
Hmm?
People come up to me and tell me things like that.
I'm making jokes.
I know you
don't
are.
take it seriously.
No.
Please
crying
don't take
on the
them.
inside,
Don't
not
take
the
it to heart.
outside.
No, I know.
Hey,
No,
I-
but
all
basically,
the
you-
crying on the
you just
inside
kinda
was
like-
also on the outside. It was also when I was a kid, so it doesn't matter now. Kid tears aren't real
Screwed
tears.
feelings.
Kid tears aren't real tears. Before you know what true pain is. Oh. Alright, where'd I go with that? I ran out of divorce jokes. Oh yeah, so yeah, we go to that church. We pull up. So we end up in downtown. My dad hates downtown. He hates people in general. So we end up in downtown. Like, yo, why are we here? And he goes, we're just stopping by somewhere. I don't know why he didn't tell me. He was like, I didn't mean to like surprise you. And I was like, dude, wake me up and go, hey, we're going to a nice church, and I'll throw on like a shirt and a tie, or at least like a collared shirt, something other than a t-shirt. And we pull up to like the super nice, really nice brick building church. Walk in, and I'm like, Dad, bro, I'm in jeans, Vans, and a black T-shirt. Brother, what have you done to me? And
Brother.
that's exactly what I said. A very interesting relationship.
I love Jeff.
Dude, Big Papa's a G. Love that guy. He's just me, but older and hairier.
That is, yeah. If you want to know what his dad's like, that is
Just me, older, fatter, and hairier.
And have had a few more experiences.
And a little bit sadder.
Okay.
Okay.
And by a little bit sadder, I mean a lot more sadder.
Okay.
Wife one did a number.
Also known as his mom.
Dude, I tried to see her. Like, I'm about to deploy in like less than 2 months. I've tried to see her twice this weekend already. I haven't seen her once. I don't know what she's doing. But
Anyway.
that's besides the point.
It's supposed to be an upbeat podcast.
Update podcast, dude. I'm making jokes. I'm kidding around. Then we walk in and now we walk in. The whole front row though is like dudes in their 60s, full suits, fully dressed up. Their wives are in like full like nice dresses.
This is the same church that...
Yeah, and the dudes in like church robes up front, already talking. I'm like, so we're late, and I'm in jeans and a t-shirt. They're gonna think I'm the one that needs saving, bro. This sermon's about to be about me. Like,
this is the one on the corner, right in front of the Square Burger.
it's the one I'm talking about is a really nice brick church. There's the museum, and there's the Capitol building. There's just really nice brick Presbyterian church.
I thought we were...
Have you talking about different churches this whole time?
This isn't a conversation that started now.
This
is a conversation that started a week ago. We thought we were talking about the same church this whole time.
There's another really
Is it like
nice.
a brick colored church?
No, it's brick. It's like old stone.
It's
Okay.
white.
So it's two different
Two
churches.
Two different churches.
Completely different churches.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, never mind. So we're talking about two different separate places.
Yeah, completely, like way
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, way different.
Do you want anything to drink, by the way? I'm really off.
I'm good right now. Maybe later if I get parched.
Anyway.
Like an egg, or is that poached? Poached. Cool. Learned a thing today.
So I need to learn one thing.
Do you poach an egg?
Yeah, you poach an egg.
I thought you like poach an egg.
I'm not gonna lie. I pre-planned that bit out in my head. It is
Okay.
poach an egg,
Okay.
and it's like you like steam it kind of.
Scramble.
Yeah, I
He
scrambled.
ate scrambled eggs this morning.
I did.
I
That
And
sucked.
he didn't like them.
You don't like scrambled eggs,
He does, but he didn't ask for them scrambled with cheese. What's the problem?
bro? When I make scrambled eggs, onions, pepper.
Ooh.
I'll put some cilantro in there. Feeling spicy, hot sauce, sriracha, American cheese melted in there. Bro.
Well, we
So
went
good.
to a place this morning, and she was like, "How do you want your eggs?" He said scrambled, and then she asked me, "I said scrambled with cheese," and then he said he was like, "I should
Instantly
have got that."
regretted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Like, always
my
does.
eggs just got way worse after.
He didn't put any pepper in his egg either because he didn't think we had pepper at the table.
Dude, I ate so fast.
No, we both
Dude,
ate
I
fast.
scarfed that
I
down.
did too.
Bro, have you met me, bro? I eat food so.
I
Dude, the
don't-
people at
I don't think you
Tazos,
swallowed.
they thought I was an animal. Like I ordered like a full combo. That was gone so fast. It was before the dude started talking to me. I was like,
You ever seen the whatever podcast?
no, I'm not a big podcast. I mean, actually, I take that back. I listen to podcasts every week,
You
but
ever
I
seen the
don't.
whatever one?
I think you probably seen it on Instagram.
The clips of it. They always have like these girls on there, and then this one guy.
Oh, he's just roasting them all.
Yeah, it's
That
like,
one. They had the Gore like the Destroyer girl on there.
Yes.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah. Okay, I've seen clips then.
Because Jay and I were talking about this on the way home. Do you feel bad at all for those girls?
Wait, for being on that podcast?
No, like for their
They-
life decisions.
Yes.
You feel
I
bad?
feel bad for them as human beings. I feel bad they signed up for a podcast knowing what was about to happen. No. Because they just
Well,
get.
we were
Yeah,
consider
They
that.
get, I'm talking about they get picked up and thrown under the bus. But they also should have looked it up first and realized they were about to get clowned. But feel bad for them as people, yes.
We kind of like, we both started out as yes, and then we kind of
I mean, it's
said
their
yes,
own-
but
it's their-
still yes,
Yeah.
but like less than yes.
It's their own life choices, but it's also mixed in with the majority of them probably have pretty crappy life circumstances
Yeah, that's
that
what I
led
said.
them to where they're at. The majority of those people didn't have like great households growing up for some reason. So that's why I say I feel bad. They probably, I'm not saying they got pushed into what they did. They chose to do it, but
I also feel like once you're in it, you don't realize how bad it isn't.
yeah. Well, you're just making a ton of money and you're not really doing a whole lot.
But like, I feel like almost all of them say they're.
Like if I was a drug dealer, I wouldn't feel that bad about it. I'd be making a ton of money. But,
Alright.
what? I don't care if that's on the internet. I've told you, if I like find out I have a year to live, I will Walter White my life up. Dude, my family's gonna be millionaires before I'm dead. Someone tells me I've got a year, bro. I'm cooking, and I mean meth.
I don't know what I would do if I had a year to live.
Well, okay, but if I had like a family, I had a wife and kids, and I'm like probably gonna make what I make for the rest of my life, which is not a whole lot of money.
Keurig.
Shout out Keurig, one and only. At work constantly, 'cause we both don't make a ton of money. But I mean, realistically, there's not a whole lot of places I'm gonna go in life where I make good money. So I'll have enough money to like support a family, but like not like leave them with millions. But if someone tells me like, hey, you got a year, like, hey, my kids are gonna be driving Lambos high school. Like,
We were actually talking about that on the way home too. Like, how much more you have to make now in today's economy than you did in any other time.
So before I came here, when you texted me earlier, I was at my grandma's house, and we were talking about that. How her husband used to buy a pack of cigarettes for 18 cents and fill up for like $1 in gas.
Yeah,
I was
people like
Yeah, no.
like people would try to counter and be like, yeah, but the wages were less then.
He was working a construction job that needed no experience. So a no experience job, entry level. I think he was making $30K a year, which is more than what I make. But then he was paying $1 for gas.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were making less, but not
But the
cost of living was all
way
the
less.
numbers aren't correlating on the way up.
Yeah.
The wages go up a little bit, but the cost of living is going more.
Yeah, way higher. Looked up today, a 50K salary in 2000, so only 24 years ago, is equivalent to a 90K salary today.
But that's what Coco barely makes enough to live, and she puts money away. She probably saves like a grandish every 2 months. So she's like putting away money, but she makes $50K a year, and with putting away that money to like just have a savings, barely scraping by. And she has a studio apartment with mold in the roof in downtown Raleigh.
Because we were talking about this, obviously, like looking at whether to buy or rent. And I saw somewhere it's actually, which is crazy because you eventually were supposed to make your money back buying, but it's actually cheaper to rent now because of how absurd it is to buy a house. Because, I mean, I make more than her, but after my health insurance, life insurance, and
Yeah, that's what kills her too. Her health and life
the
insurance.
401k and my car insurance, it's like really not going to be able to save a lot of money after groceries.
Like you're just gonna have a crazy mortgage forever.
Yeah.
But I mean, eventually you'll end up owning it. I think
the point of like the stat now is most people can't afford to get it in the first place. Like they can't pay.
The only reason I think I'm gonna be able to get a house at some point in my future is I have a VA loan, which is the 0 down, but it's an absurd term.
Yeah.
It's absurd. It will never get paid off in my lifetime, but it's 0 down.
Yeah, well, we're talking about that too. I mean,
So I'm renting with some equity coming back at some point.
a lot of banks are requiring a lot less now, but it used to be 20%, which is like a 40K down payment for a basic house.
That's the lucky thing about what the setup hopefully I'll have is like that 40K I'm still gonna have to pay with now interest.
Yeah.
Because I didn't pay it up front.
The interest rates are now at 7%.
Yeah.
I was talking to a coworker of mine. She's, I want to say in her 70s. Her interest rate, 1.5% when she bought her house.
So-
Because the interest rate stays with
Yeah.
you, and so hers is at 1.5%.
It's nuts.
For a 4-bedroom house, which doesn't change. The house size doesn't matter, but that's just crazy.
So that was the thing is too. So I was thinking about when I get out of the Marine Corps, I'm gonna have a lump sum of money from deployment. I was thinking about all the stuff I would want to do with it.
Do they put away money for you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's good.
But I mean, as soon as I get out though, it's gonna be like a couple grand realistically. Cause I have a Roth IRA that I got when I enlisted, but realistically, it's not gonna have that much in it. And
How
then,
much do they put away, like percentage wise?
so you can put in. So they'll match 5% of what you put in. So I put in 5. I put in 5, and they match 5. And I don't make a lot of money to be. I don't have a lot to spare to put back in there. So on deployment, I'm gonna try to raise that number some, but
Yeah, I guess you don't really have as many expenses when you're on deployment. They pay for everything, don't they?
the only expenses I will have is at a port stop in another country. I'll want to go out and get a meal that's not made by some angry Navy person, and maybe a cold brewski.
Yeah, you can put a lot away.
And then you get deployment pay while you're out. And then if you go in country for any kind of like actual like reason, even if it's not necessarily a conflict, you get hazard pay. So you make a lot more money.
Yeah.
And you can buy like energy drinks on ship for like $2. But so I mean,
I'm getting my energy drinks right now for 89 cents at Lidl.
But they're like Lidl energy drinks. But I mean, still they're
they
energy
taste
drinks.
alright.
Yeah, they taste like Red Bulls, like almost exactly like Red
Then I'm
Bulls.
going to Lidl right after this. Because that's why probably one of my biggest expenditures in my life is caffeine and gas.
No,
Mine
this
is
kid,
100% gas, and it's not even close.
yeah, I mean, how many miles do you have in your car? She's had her car since
I've
what?
had my car since May 4th. Brand new car, bought it myself. It has 33,000 miles on it.
Man,
I put 28 since last March on
you
mine.
guys both. I mean,
Well, dude, think I
I
commute.
was about to say, yeah.
oh, you commute every weekend.
I commute 130 miles one way every weekend.
Yeah.
But to be fair, during the weekends, I don't drive it because I have a bike, and that's what I do on my weekends. Is I ride, and then when I'm at work, I might drive a total of 5 miles the entire week, and that is to and from the PX. That's less than a mile away, because I don't really do anything. I might go to the gym, which is the same distance as the PX, or the PX to get energy drinks. That's about it.
It's like 44 miles from my house from here, right?
Yeah.
And then it's about the same for work every day.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, she drives to Durham, back home, then here, then back
I
home.
thought the place was in Oxford area. That's
Used to.
trash.
Yeah, it used to be.
Trash
It used to
work.
be. I used to work there.
Yeah.
Then I got promoted, so they sent me to the one that owns that one.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
That's a lot of driving in a day, though.
Yeah.
I mean, what is
I drive.
hour
So that's
40?
what? An hour 40
God.
just then.
3 hours?
3 hours a
in
day.
40 minutes?
That's trash.
Like in a day. It's really bad.
I like driving, but I'm not sure I would like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair though, my bike gets 45 miles per gallon.
45.
It's 50 miles from my house to here.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought it was more.
Yeah. I think it's 44 from my work. I think that's where I got that
I
number
mean,
from.
my little Camry gets 25 from here to Jacksonville.
That's pretty good.
I get 25 in the Camry,
The
45
Camry?
on the bike. Yeah. And then that's average too. So like on the highway, I'm making more like 30. But averaging on my in-town miles, which realistically aren't a lot, so I'm probably averaging over 25. Pretty good. And then I pay my insurance on the Camry is $89 a month.
How?
You have a payment on that car, right? You have to have full coverage. I only have liability.
Ah.
So I only have liability, and I have it through an insurance company my dad's been with for 20 years, and they give like promotions to
Mhm.
people that stay with him. And then since I was a legacy from him, so I started off on his insurance,
Oh.
and I sprouted off. I already had a discount, and then I got another discount last year for good driving, even though I technically got in a wreck. But I
Yeah.
was smart. I paid for accident forgiveness my entire life because I knew one day it would happen, and I ate up that accident forgiveness.
Yeah.
So as of now, I still have a clean driving record because that was a non-moving violation, so the court doesn't really care about it.
Which one?
The one up there. Oh, speaking of that corner almost killed me again on the way in. There was
we told this story?
yeah, she's had to avert it.
No, he's talking about the camera. Is that what you're talking about?
No, that was
Is it-
today.
Is it the camera?
Like on the bike, like 20 minutes ago.
He's really not picking up what we're saying, is he?
No.
The Miata.
The Miata, yeah.
Yeah, he's asking, have you told it on the podcast?
Did we talk about it on the first one?
Maybe. I want to relive this. Dude, you're making me relive my parents' divorce, and now I have to go into this, bro.
I feel like you brought up the divorce on your own.
I did because it's funny. This isn't funny. I'd rather live through the divorce 10 times over than wreck my Miata again.
So here's what happened. Sitting in this very room, actually.
I hate you.
I get him and Josue
Josue.
leave
Josue.
my house, and within 5 minutes, I get a phone call.
Dude, had to be less. Dude, it's literally 30 seconds down.
from Jose, and you know when you can hear somebody's voice and how shaken they are, and you know, like.
'Cause he told me he thought I was dead.
Yeah.
He's like, the reason I didn't run over to you is I thought you were dead. I was about to pull your corpse out of this car. I was like, nah, dude, I ain't dying that easy.
And Jose said something along the lines of, something just happened. Can you drive down the street? And I was like,
to the right or left.
nah, I knew which way.
You
I was
heard
like,
it.
All right, like, I had no clue what was happening. I think he might have mentioned that you got in an accident,
Yeah.
but you could just tell in his voice like it wasn't just an accident. Like he really sounded like something you were in like a coma or dead. That's what it sounded like.
Oh, I could only wish.
So why don't you tell him what happened that led to your accident?
Yeah. So, I had an amazing 5-speed 97 Mazda Miata. Love it to death. Paid under $2,500 for it. Spray painted the wheels black. Drew a penis on the gas pump.
How long did it last?
3 months.
Okay.
Learned how to drive manual on that thing. Loved it to death. Been watching the Fast and Furious movies too much recently anyway, because I've been driving the manual. So I just felt like I was that guy. And me and Jose are, obviously it was high school. I think we all drove everywhere a little bit too fast.
And we were just stupid.
We were just stupid.
I mean, I was part of that. We were stupid. We used to play rock, paper, scissors at stop signs.
I remember you telling me about
And
that.
whoever won got to pass, but if there was a car in between, didn't matter. We still played.
Yeah, it was so dumb.
Do it at stoplights.
We were like, I don't know how we lived through it.
Well, you.
I
Go
almost
on, go on.
I was probably the reason we all slowed down for a while. Well, Jose's in his the old Ford in front of me, and I see him, and I was topping out second gear, so I was probably going 45 ish. No, 45. That's right. It's Mazda Miata, right? I ain't going fast. That's what.
But I remember that's what you told the cop.
Yeah,
and he said no.
Yeah, well,
he
he was wrong. 'Cause you can statistically look up how fast a Mazda Miata can go in third gear. He said I was going 70. I can barely go 70 in fifth gear, let alone third gear. But I'm coming around, and I'm redlining second. So I go to pass him. So up that hill right there.
Yeah.
And he goes up and into that curve.
Yeah.
Up
Passing him on a residential street.
That,
There's no lines on the
No
road.
lines.
45
on
and a
curve.
25 on a residential street going into a curve at night, and it rained that day. And it's dark. It was almost midnight.
It was late. I mean,
It was
we had
late.
just submitted schoolwork that was due at 10:30, and we probably talked for another hour.
So at least 11. So I shift into third, and I gun it going up around him, up that hill. And I pass him, and I look back, and I got him. 'Cause he also slowed down, too, because he saw me doing it. And obviously the Ford ain't a race car, and I was just being an asshole. And I go into it, and I have a realization of I'm being stupid. So I look in front of me. I see my surroundings, house. Street that's luckily empty, and there's no one sitting at that stop sign, so that's a safe area. But then it's around this curve that I can't see, and it's also night, and I have 97 Miata headlights, so not headlights.
Yeah.
And it's dark. They're flipped up, but I didn't do a whole lot. It's kind
But you love those.
I
that
love me
flip
some flippy headlights, man. I'm trying to get them on the bike, bro. I want to put one up front and flip it over. I love me flippy headlights. But I'm coming
It's
around this
electric.
corner, and I hit the realization of, oh, this is stupid. Because this is a blind curve. I shifted up going 45-ish, probably a little less than 45, in complete honesty. So I'm probably no more than low 50s. I'm not looking at speedometer either. It's not like it's digital or anything. It's 97. So I can't guesstimating my speed really, and that speedometer works sometimes. So this is mostly guesses.
You just say works sometimes on the speedometer?
Yeah, it didn't always work. And the tachometer did also almost kind of work. So I was more of I would just go until it sounded like the engine was working hard and shift. But and so I realized bad idea. Blind curve. If there's a guy walking his dog late at night or a guy running or something like that on the side of the road, I'm gonna hit him. I'm gonna kill him. I'm going to prison. And I realized this is dumb. And what do you do when you're going fast in a car and you got something dumb? You hit the brakes. Again, old car, bad brakes, bad driver, little sports car, old sports car that hasn't been repaired in a long time, and I put new front wheels on it the day I bought it, but I didn't have money for new rear wheels, and they had the most tread on. They weren't like done. They still had tread on them, but they were probably at half life. And bad driver in me, I should have more of like swerved left and then kept some speed and then just kind of gone through the turn.
You want to stay through the throttle.
Yeah, I should have stayed through the throttle. I don't know exactly what your dad said.
That's what he said?
I saw him
That's
like
where I
a week
learned
later,
from, yeah.
and he was like, "You should stay on the throttle through that. You probably would have been fine."
He just loves the motivational speeches.
Dude, I was like, dude,
I'll tell you something
I
after.
was like, dude, I almost died, but all right. Thanks for that. Thanks for that tidbit. Don't worry, I'm getting an SUV that would like no speed after this. But I hit the brake. I slam on the brakes to slow down. And as soon as I slam on the brakes, I was turning this way. And because I was into this turn, the back end of the car instantly, not even a little bit gave out. Like I hit black ice, gave out. Gone. I'm completely sideways. The wheel didn't even attempt to do anything except for turn that way. And then I turned into it, because that's what I've been told. And I stand by, it's probably the right thing to do to try to flick myself out of what was going on. I was trying to flick it back to get the rear end out. But there's a car parked right there, and that was my thoughts. I just need the rear end to not hit that car. The problem is, though, I swung so bad. It wasn't even this way. Parked car, I'm this way. Like,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, and then as I hit the car, I hopped the curb into these people's yard, and the door and the hood of my car, the hood of my car goes under the front end of this Tacoma, and then so like the side portion, where you had this massive giant truck person bumper, hit the passenger door. The passenger door goes into my arm,
Yeah, nice.
and it cut open the sleeve on my
Over
hoodie,
your arm, yeah.
and it didn't really cut down my skin, but I was bleeding a little bit, and then obviously all the glass shatters in this car.
Yeah.
All comes into my face. Also, that's when I had the man bun too, so I had the man bun up. Glass is everywhere. And
The Tacoma, by the way,
fine.
tanked it.
Dude, the Tacoma started and drove off me. He backed the Tacoma off my car.
There was like a little nick in the
apparently
bumper.
my insurance replaced the bumper.
Yeah, well, they replaced it.
Yeah.
But there wasn't much damage. They
actually couldn't get the insurance to pay anything else. They're like, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But yeah, it did that, and then I'm just sitting there, and I see Jose pass me. He just slowed all the way down.
Yeah.
And that's when he told me, he's like, he saw that wreck and saw the door go in, and just figured I became part of the door and I was dead. Luckily, honestly, if I had an automatic that didn't have like the center console right there for the shifter, it might have taken my leg, but because of Miata, I couldn't go that fast. And it's an old metal car, it's actually steel. It didn't completely tear me apart, and then like the center console stopped the door. So the part that only got me was my hand on the shifter, so I was obviously shifting, and it nailed my arm, and then glass went everywhere, my head hurt. The door is still open on the side. The glass was still good only on that window. The back glass blew out, the side glass obviously blew into me, and the front glass broke. I opened it, and I was kind of looking around. First I was, can I get my car out of here before these people come out of their house? First thought, I was like, can I get out of here without them knowing I hit their car? And I look at my car, and I'm like, yeah, no, this car's totaled. That never in a million years is this car anything else other than parts. And so there wasn't a whole lot of options. It was, I have to go knock on their door. So I literally knocked on these people's door, and this old guy opens. He's like, what's up? And he looks out and goes, were you in that car? And I was like, I was in that car. That's me. And he goes, he's like, are you good?
And they were pretty nice about it.
They were super nice about it. I mean, I was bleeding, and I had like a cut on my forehead from the glass. And the wife comes out, and the wife was super nice. They were all really
They're
nice
great
about it.
people, yeah.
And they knew my uncle, too. So they figured out who I was. They're like, Kenan, I think our friend's, like, sister married a Kenan. And I was like, who do you know? He's like, oh, our whole family goes to Cardinal Gibbons. And I was like, oh, Uncle Dean.
Oh, Wesley's
Dean Monroe.
dad.
Yeah, Wesley's dad. They knew him.
What up? The Dean Machine.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you guys know Dean Machine? And I'm sitting there bleeding on their front. Like, you know Dean Machine?
No way.
No way.
Small world.
Yeah, they start cleaning me up. The wife's super nice. I'm like, hey man, it's fine. I just like totaled your car. And they're like, no, I think it's fine. They were like, no, it's fine.
I don't think our car's fine.
I was like, my car's totaled. They start wiping. They're like, is this your car? I'm like, yeah. Luckily, it's my car. And And I give a driver's license. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm 17. I have a driver's license. My car. I bought it with my own money. This is all my property that's destroyed here. I called cops. The cops were so busy. It took them an hour to show up. Cops showed up an hour later. One RPD dude, and he goes and he like looks at it. He was the guy who was like, dude, no way this happened at like 50, 45-ish. And I was like, dude, I'm in third gear. You can see my shifter's permanently part of my car now. See where the shifter's pushed in? That's third gear. That ain't fit. And he was like, oh, okay. He's like, I could technically give you a speeding violation. I was like, brother.
The guy gets a speeding ticket.
Dude, I was like, I just kind of looked at it. I was like, it is what it is, man. He goes, dude, I'm not going to give you any of that. Your car's totaled. He's like, you're probably screwed. He's like, you have a job? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you're going to be working a while to buy a new car.
Oh, thank you for the words of encouragement. Like,
yeah, dude pretty much was like, yeah. He just, and then I called my dad too, and I was like, yeah, so I got in a car accident. He's like, you good? And I'm like, I'm good.
Your dad was kind of chill about it too when he got there.
Oh, 'cause my dad did the same thing. He was like, bound to happen. He told me when I bought that man, he's like, you're gonna wreck that thing. I was like, no, I'm not.
My dad said the same thing when he saw it. Yeah. He went out there and looked at it before he wrecked it. It was like, we were walking back, he's like, that thing's a goner.
Call it. Dude, call
Speaking
it.
of my dad's motivational speeches, I sent him a picture yesterday. This guy's just nuts. My dad's a beauty.
do you want me to read it word for word? Because I have it.
Yeah.
What was it a picture of?
It was a picture of John Lennon. Or you could. It's in the photo, or it's in the.
Yeah, hang on. I'm pulling it up. He screenshotted it, sent it to me. Matt texted him. Interesting photo I thought you would like. That's a photo of John Lennon signing an autograph for Mark David Chapman a couple hours before Chapman would shoot and kill him.
Yeah.
His dad says, always watch your back. Good lesson.
Wasn't the point of the text, Dad.
Have you seen the bike?
Nah. You know he can't grow hair on his legs because of bikes? He had a motorcycle growing up.
Hard.
And fell off on a dirt road. Took all the skin off this part.
Same thing happened to you on a penny board.
We'll get into that in a second.
What happened to you on a penny board?
Oh my! We gotta tell her the logic. The logic's the best part of the whole story.
Oh.
Dude, how did I talk you into that, bro? You were supposed to be the smart one of the two of us. I'm literally retarded, bro.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So my dad loses all the skin off his quad, right? Goes has a little bit to drink that night because that's how you wash away pain. Falls asleep on one of those shag carpets, you know, because he's from the 50s, so he's probably in the 60s.
Yeah.
Wakes up to his skin having intertwined with the carpet, so he stands up and it rips off all the skin again.
That's tragic.
So he can't grow hair there. He hasn't grown hair there since he was in his teens. Brutal.
Yeah.
The penny board.
Oh,
So-
How have I been dating you for a year and you have not told me about this penny
this is it.
Which is funny because I wrote on one today.
board? We wrote on one today.
We were waiting.
Yeah.
I was like, let me rip this real quick.
And it was about to break because it was bending in.
Don't let him ever get on.
Okay, what happened?
Dude,
Back in Caden's and I's prime, we used to just skateboard. We just
that was such a in hindsight. That was such a random thing that we used to do all the time.
we did it all the time.
We knew like it was like way past the age where like most guys just went out and skateboarded. I
We
guess
were in high school.
I feel like most people though like you
Was
have
it
their friends
junior,
like
sophomore,
get like stop like
junior,
skateboards.
freshman,
Yeah.
junior, sophomore.
No, I think it was sophomore, junior. Wait, what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
I'm the junior.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But I feel like everyone like I don't know if they had like if they're like I had childhood memories of riding skateboards with my friends. They were like in middle school,
Yeah.
or whatever. I don't know why in high school
And we picked it up.
we were just like it's time to start skateboarding.
And I had a couple different boards, but for some reason I love the penny board.
You did love that thing.
It's like a foot long. It's the same one I was
Yeah.
riding. It's like a foot
Dude,
long.
the hills we bombed on that thing. We had no. I mean, I had a reason because I had like a legit skateboard. You had like a $20 penny board, and we're bombing like these massive hills.
Oh my! It was nuts. I
It
mean,
was-
we were
it was-
going way too much speed.
We'd both be cooking.
And we were going down one hill, and I remember getting off of it, and I didn't even realize I was pulling off the bushings of my board, which connects the.
That was the problem with the other board too. The other one, probably because you kept pulling them off.
Yeah.
The bushings on the other board
It's like rubber part that kind of connects the the what's that called? I don't remember.
I don't know skateboard words. I didn't have them on my board.
What's the part that holds the wheels? Well, that metal part to the board.
Yeah.
It kind of prevents it from like going all wobbly, right?
Yeah.
Easiest way to put it without
Yeah.
knowing anything about skateboards. Well, anyway, so we come up with this hill, and the bottom of the hill, they put rocks on it.
I gotta say though, this hill, pristine. Like we get to this hill.
Great
like,
hill.
We hadn't hit it yet. We've gone over like all the main roads in this neighborhood. There's a ton, this hilly neighborhood. We've hit everyone, even that crazy like long hills, the ones that like go down by that creek and back up.
Jose's never in the skateboard. He bombed it because we told him it was easy.
Dude, I love how me and you start like putting our feet down, slow down. And Jose's like, this is an easy round, dude. Easiest hill of the day. It's gone. That's still the funniest.
That's probably one of the worst things we did this
I was literally saying it's the funniest
he,
thing.
He could have got really hurt.
Yo, he could have easily died. We didn't know what a helmet was.
Think.
Helmet, knee pads. Not sure what you're talking about, kid.
But they put rocks at the bottom so that you can't skateboard on it. Because, well, we'll get to it. So Kate and I, Kate definitely came up with this theory. It was a great theory that the faster you go, the lighter you are. Therefore,
We used correct logic, but it didn't apply.
therefore, you can go over it. And we actually did one time.
Oh, I made it. You didn't.
No, we both made it one time. We went back up. We were like, let's hit it again.
I thought,
And we both hit it one time.
in my memory, the first time I hit it and I almost died, and I looked over and I see you on the side of the road, just. Oh.
I mean, so here what happened was I had hit a rock, like the rocks they put down there for this reason, and my board just like it went pretty hard, and
You got tossed.
I tried to land on the grass, did not make it, and a rock got lodged into my elbow. You remember that?
Yeah.
'Cause I was bleeding real bad.
I got a
on my
picture of
elbow.
it somewhere.
Destroyed my favorite soccer jersey.
Aw.
And my side, like, right up my side,
Yeah.
it was
Nuts
skin
were red.
for months.
Oh.
Like, it was the same thing with my dad, where it pulled off
Yeah.
skin. I couldn't put anything over it.
Mhm.
So my soccer shorts, like, I would just have to pull up the whole game
Yeah.
because it would just keep tearing off skin.
Why were we
Yep.
doing that during soccer?
Still have a scar that goes up my arm from it because I had a rock lodged and then the whole
I have a
arm.
scar from a chicken that attacked me when I was like 12.
Alright, we'll get into that in a second. What? Why'd you point at your nipple?
It's right there.
Okay.
It's right above my nip.
Ow. Ow. That sounds way more painful.
Dude,
than the
one in my
story.
one in my peach.
Okay, anyway.
I'll get to that. It makes perfect sense.
Anyway, instantly got up and had to walk it back to my house. And I don't remember what, we just washed it. Right?
Yeah, we literally just put water on it.
I don't remember saying a single word. I just remember feeling white. Like it was like, I felt like I was.
Yeah, you were like.
I mean,
Yeah. It
There,
felt like I
there
was-
was like there's no Band-Aid that big, and like we didn't have bandages. And you could have taped your whole arm up with bandages. That would have been the only option, other than just let it sit there and breathe.
I love how much blood there was, and we were no thought in our mind was like, let's go to the hospital. We were like, you know what we need? A bath.
Dude, I stand by it. That was fine. That was fine.
I didn't. Yeah. Maybe about the rock, because the rock stayed in my arm for a little bit too long.
I don't remember that. I don't remember the rock staying in your arm that long. I remember
tried to ride
thinking.
a penny board one time and immediately fell into a ditch.
See, that's the best way to do it. Don't go down a hill.
No, I did go down a hill.
Oh, well.
What?
So I was with Charlie, Josh, and Jake. This was literally junior or senior year of high school. And so Josh lives at the very end of this road, and it kind of goes down on a hill right by the lake. And so they're like, Jake was really into like skateboarding for some reason, which like Jake is into something new every like 3 months, so it's not surprising. But he had a skateboard, and I think Josh had a penny board he gotten from like Walmart or something like that. And so Josh like sat on the penny board and just like rode it down the hill, like this. And I'm like, I can't do that. Are you kidding me? Like I can't stand up on it, but I can do that. So I did that. Well, the penny board, I guess the way I was sitting, I leaned.
I
and
can't
so,
do that.
and so,
That's just straight.
so instead of just going straight down the hill, I did this and went straight into a ditch, and it rolled over my car keys and messed them up.
Messed up your car keys?
Yeah, my old car, obviously, but
Keisha?
yeah, no, not Keisha, Olivia.
Olivia. Who's Keisha?
One now.
Okay.
Yeah. My cars have names if you can't tell. Yeah.
My cars have names.
Yeah.
Mine's Richard.
It's Ricardo.
Mine's Ricardo.
Because it's got car.
Mine
in
aren't
it.
like real names.
What does that even
Are they
mean?
like house names?
No,
Okay.
my bike's Bluey. Like the little
Like the show?
cartoon dog.
So
yeah.
it's like. It's a good show.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a second.
And then the Camry's Cammy.
Okay, that
and
makes
then,
sense.
The Jeep is the closest one I've had to a real name. And these are the only cars I own currently. The Jeep's name's Helena.
Why?
I forget. I had a reason.
Oh, you know my favorite part of the car story? We never even got to it.
The Miato's Mamacita.
Alright, anyway. My favorite part of that story was when you texted me that night.
I don't know what I said. It's probably something stupid.
I'll remind you. You said, because I was taking pictures of your car
Yeah.
and everything. And
Do you have those?
somewhere, but I can't pull them up. If we knew how to edit, I'd put a photo on the screen. But
Imagine there's a photo.
Picture. Here.
Picture. It will not pop up.
Oh, I should imagine this is not getting edited. This is
No, yeah, this is it.
If you can't tell from the first one, I don't know how to edit. This is just getting posted. This goes
They can skip. That's the editing.
And I'm glad this doesn't have like, because the first one I had to keep stopping it, but this looks like it'll keep going. I don't know how to get it on Spotify, so we're gonna figure this out. I posted the other one the next day though.
Yeah,
right?
I already
Yeah,
sent the
but-
link.
Yeah, I remember I was here when you were posting it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Tore it up. So you texted me that night. You're like, "Can I have pictures of my baby?" And
Ain't no.
I said,
don't,
I
don't-
called.
don't trash talk me. Mamacita died. I felt so bad.
I called his girlfriend earlier, Keurig. If you don't remember that.
Oh, that's when you sent me the
And so I
picture
sent
of a
you a picture
Keurig.
of my coffee maker.
Dude, I remember. I remember. Dude, I was so pissed. Dude, I was sitting there. I love that car more than my own life. That was one of my dream cars since I was a kid. I've always wanted a Miata with the pop-up headlights, and I finally had when I learned how to drive a manual. I felt so cool, and then it just died. I was like, I ruined everything. I'm going to kill myself. And I asked for Matt for a picture of my car, and he sends me a Keurig machine. And then once the whole thing downloads on what he just did, I just was like, bro. I just threw my phone and I was like, this guy.
I don't even think I sent you a picture of the car after.
You know
I was
you
like,
did.
That is so
No, you
funny. I'm
didn't.
going to bed.
Like, that's it on a good note. Let's
Oh,
go to
no.
bed. Because Jose was sitting there like, dude, why'd you spike your phone into the floor? And I was like, dude, I can't stand that. I can't stand it. It's like Pennsylvania did this, I'm done.
Oh, the Pennsylvania one's
I
fun.
stand by that, bro. I hate you for that.
I would never
It's the most
forget
Matthew
that.
City thing that ever happened.
It's pretty good news. Pennsylvania is, I asked Caden to play soccer once, and Caden came, and it was a good time.
I'm kidding. It hasn't been said yet.
What?
My name.
Oh, do I need to introduce myself?
Did we ever do this?
No, there's no introduction.
We'll go. So, since you said your name,
Who are we introducing yourselves or are you introducing
I'm
us?
introducing y'all.
Okay.
He's
My-
he's the host.
I'm the
That's why he's
host.
got the desk.
Okay.
I got
okay.
the desk.
And the pen.
Yeah, I haven't written a single thing down.
No.
Caden, and then my girlfriend Jade.
And then Matt.
Oh, what up, baby?
I hate you, bro. I don't want to hear it. I asked for a picture of my baby. You sent me a Keurig machine.
That's pretty good.
That was not good.
Jaden set up our little podcast here.
All I did was put Mickey Mouse up.
Solid.
You want a drink?
I'm good.
I have a gelato.
The disgusting, awful beer thing.
It's different.
When he says that, it's not different.
First off, no, because I don't trust you. Second off, I'm on 2 wheels, and that's like I don't drink and drive anyways, kind of my rule, and I'm definitely not drinking on 2 wheels, bro.
Dude, trust me, you'll be fine. This doesn't.
Are
There's
you
no way this has
trying to,
anything
like-
but tomato juice in it. This thing's horrible. You won't last more than 2 sips.
Is it the Chelada beer?
Yeah, it is.
Dude, I've had it. It's trash.
Yeah, it's the
garbage.
worst thing
Dude,
ever.
I was so.
If you never tried it, it's pretty good. I suggest it.
Yeah, for us to try. But I was when this is when we were in I was in Virginia for a month. We weren't allowed alcohol. I mean, obviously we were technically supposed to be training the whole time, so there was no
Aren't you
alcohol.
technically not supposed to have alcohol now?
Mhm.
Wait, are you 21?
I'm 21.
Nah, never mind.
So even if you're 21 there, you weren't supposed to drink. We weren't allowed to leave the base and go get beer. And they sold beer like at the store on base. You weren't allowed to buy it. But we had this one guy who who was smuggling stuff in. And I think at one point I was like mad depressed, and he was like one of the guys that's like in charge of me, and he knew I was not having a kosher time. So he like smuggled me in a beer. And he was like, "Free of charge, bro. Just you." And I was like, "What a guy." And then I see this dude, this Mexican, the most Mexican guy I've ever met in my life, named Salgado. He's coming around the corner. He's got Boehner tunes on, just
Boehner tunes?
Boehner tunes.
Boehner tunes.
Yeah. He's got the and then he's got this like, they're not hiding it at all. This massive like thermos-sized can of like Chelada Bud Light. And he's like, "Dude, you gotta try some of this." And like,
don't start. This is what I mean with this. If anybody watches this, we're getting canceled.
Dude, Salgado sees he's gonna back it up. But I started dancing to the Boehner tunes with him because I love me some of the, like that Mexican music. So I'm sitting there dancing with him, and then like he just randomly out of nowhere just like forcibly pours it into my mouth, and it was straight tomato soup, and then tasted like warm Bud Light. Those were the two flavors that entered my mouth at the same time, and I literally just went. I'm just sitting there, just like on the ground. Just, what was that? He's like, "It's deliciousness, brother." I'm like,
that's what I mean, man. Oh.
That's verbatim. It's exactly what he sounds like. He sounds like the average Mexican accent. Salgado, name Salgado. Salgado from Mexico.
It just keeps going.
You gonna edit it now, aren't you?
Huh?
You gotta edit it now.
I don't know how to edit it. Staying in.
We'll figure it out.
Dude, I don't care if I get canceled, bro.
Yeah, well, your name isn't the one on the account, right?
Well, it's me saying, Caden saying Salgado from Mexico.
I don't really care either. 5 people watch this, and we're 3 of them.
None of us. No one cares about the word beaner.
No, you're right.
Bean people. River jumpers.
Okay, now you're starting to get somewhere.
Okay, yeah.
National Guard target practice.
We'll figure out how to edit it. I'll figure it out.
I said, okay, that one might have been a little bad.
Actually, much better.
Yeah, I'm not
Some
touching.
girl that is normally not in Lynchburg is in Lynchburg. I was like, but.
I feel like at some point we need to have a serious conversation on this thing, right?
A serious conversation about what?
I don't know. We had a serious one
So
last time.
child tears aren't real tears.
We had a serious one in the last one, right? We talked about your
The Marine Corps, yeah, and how me and Jose aren't. I mean, we don't hate it, but we're not fans. But
yeah.
those are real tears. Those are outside tears.
Outside tears.
Those aren't inside tears. Those are outside tears. Bro, I thought my boss snapped the other day. I thought he actually was about to like do like a murder suicide. I thought like he finally wasn't joking.
Was it?
Because of you? Or
No, not me.
Just in general?
I think we're fine.
Okay.
These guys were like kosher. I mean, we sit around and joke all day, so I think we're okay. But he really doesn't hate some of the people in power. He's that guy who's gonna get out and be like the next.
Hitler.
No,
Okay.
not Hitler. I said the name that's in my
this
head.
part out, Jaden, whenever you're watching this and attempting to figure it out, because he apparently has no idea how to.
So John Wilkes Booth is the name that pops in my head, but I'm looking for the guy that killed Kennedy. I know Wilkes Booth was Lincoln. Who's Kennedy?
I mean, do you want me to tell you right now?
Yeah.
The CIA.
That's why I was like, go ahead.
Amen to that.
Dude, I'm kidding.
No, but the guy.
How long we want this podcast?
Dude, you want to go down this trail with me too? You think I'm not as far into this as you are?
I guarantee you're not as far into it as that.
With that specific conspiracy?
Yes,
or
with
just
that specific
Oh yeah,
conspiracy.
you're way more into others just conspiracy.
I'm
I'm
kind of
way-
the same way, though.
Yeah.
But,
I'm way into
I'm
it.
only
in
into one
general.
conspiracy in that one. It's that one.
yeah, no, I think everything's a lie.
Yeah.
My dad's the same way, though.
Yeah.
The president did 9/11. I'm 100% certain.
You think the same thing?
That one, I'm not sure about, but I think my dad believes that one.
Dude, I want to meet her dad. I think we'd have
Her
a
dad's
talk.
a beast.
Dude, I'm gonna look at him and be
Bring
like,
him
yo,
to church.
9/11 was an inside job.
Oh, tomorrow?
maybe. But I've got here's the thing. I got like 50 days until I'm gone for 9 months, and every free second I'm trying to spend with Coco. The only reason I'm here is because I can't be with Coco.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's good. I can't get it right. That one.
My dad, like, his favorite conspiracy is that the moon landing was fake. Which obviously,
Obviously, what?
it was fake.
All right.
Little pause on that so I don't forget. We played soccer tomorrow.
Solid chance for that because Coco has to go to work during
No.
soccer time.
I'm not going unless you go because Micah's not going.
Yeah, I know. So it's got to be me and you.
Yeah, I don't think we can vote. I don't think we can one person show up.
Yeah, I think we show up as a group and ask that old guy if we could play. We're in.
Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff, the schizo guy.
Schizo?
Tell me he's not schizophrenic.
I'm not gonna say that, but
Dude, look at him, bro. He wandered out from under the highway and played soccer for 2 hours.
oh, dude, he's loved every second of it.
Dude,
But-
he does. He's a good time. I don't mind him. He's hype.
The only reason I'm iffy on it is I don't know how many people are gonna be there. I'm not trying to show up and there's 10 guys, but I think if it's good
Dude,
weather,
I think if we pull up and look from a distance,
yeah, it's a good.
and
Idea.
if there's like 10 plus people there,
I'm down.
I'm down. Tro might be too. I'll call Tro.
Ooh,
That's another friendly face.
I forgot because he's already in their group.
Not really. He's kind of he's a little. He's gone like 3 or 4 times.
His dad's in it.
Tro's dad.
Yeah, he goes.
Tro's dad goes to soccer there.
Apparently he's nasty at soccer.
I did not know Tro's part of this group. I mean, I had 3 or 4 people tell me there I was welcome to come anytime,
Yeah,
and that wasn't Micah or his dad or Tro or his dad.
Well, Troy's dad wasn't there.
I've never met his dad. Actually, I've seen him once.
I've never met his dad either, but apparently he's one of like the OG guys there. That's how the Somers got into it. It's because Tro's dad.
Dude, Tro's family's very.
Dude, apparently he's gross at soccer. Tro's dad.
I wonder if it's any good. I'd kind of like to meet him. I don't think he likes me. I've had one interaction with him ever, and it was from a car window, and it was me pulling up on my bike to get Tro on his bike.
Is he from Ukraine? Right? Is
I
that
don't
what they're
know.
from?
No, I thought Tro's adopted from Ukraine.
Oh, is that it?
I think they're Catholic. I think they're all.
Okay, that doesn't.
I don't know. I've heard there's some like weird friction in that family. I don't know what it is though. I got nothing wrong. I got no problem with Catholics. The only thing that freaks me out is the Eucharist. The Eucharist freaks me out, but other than that though, I don't really mind. Oh wait. Like big Catholic, like Vatican. They're up to something.
I agree with
They
you.
have spaceships under the Vatican.
I'll go on record saying, as far as the interpretation of the Bible, a lot of similarities. Very big differences, but there's quite I would say there's more similarities between the Baptist
Mhm.
denomination and the Methodist Church is split into 2.
Yeah.
When I say conservative and liberal, I don't mean political.
Yeah.
I mean changing and staying the same.
Yeah.
The liberal side of the Methodist Church, I would say Baptist.
Yeah.
There's a bigger difference between those.
I agree. From going to a lot of those churches both, and then going to a lot of Catholic churches, growing up, 'cause my dad, which we always going to different churches and stuff. I agree. Like the Baptist to like the liberal Methodist is nuts compared to going from a Baptist church and going to Catholic. You get some dude in a confession booth or praying to like Mary or something, or like, and then they start telling you like, yo, this is like actually his body inside your stomach. And I'm like, right.
Yeah.
Bring it down a notch. That's called bread.
I think the biggest.
It's like I got that at Food Lion, bro. That is not him.
Like I'll watch the guy in the back crack up his crack. He's good.
Yeah, there's some dude drunk off fucking wine in the back. My bad. I slipped one out.
Cussing?
Yeah, I was trying not to cuss. But-
Nice. Lasted hour 12 minutes.
Dude, that's not bad. Considering where I work.
Sure.
Yeah.
The biggest one, I think, is purgatory.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the biggest difference.
I met a group of Catholics that didn't believe in purgatory.
The bad Catholics.
Okay, sorry, this is kind of on topic. The nicest people I have ever met in my entire life, the most appreciative people, are Filipino Catholics. They are so
Never mind.
nice. They are so kind. They are so appreciative of anything you do. They will bend over backwards for you in a heartbeat. He hears me talk about them all the time.
Yeah,
I love
they're
them.
nice.
Yeah.
I like when she does those funerals.
I don't. I mean, I'm sure I've met a few.
Yeah,
not enough to
they're
notice.
so sweet. But No, we kind of did the same thing where my dad would go and guest speak at different churches and stuff. So I saw kind of.
Well, my dad, I wasn't alive when he was a pastor. That was before I was born.
Mhm.
But his next job was he worked for a company that helped build churches.
Okay.
They would get contracted out by, I guess, like denominations themselves to
Okay.
open up a different like church. So it'd be like every time. So like that's why I told Matt I got to go to a couple black churches. You go to the churches
They're
he
so
like
much fun.
open. Black churches are hype.
They're so
Why
much
can't
fun.
white people be that cool?
Literally.
Like there's no they believe the same thing. They're just so much more
They're
hype.
so
than the
much
other.
more like happy and
Yeah.
energetic about it. I
They
love
can't-
it.
Like all the old Baptist people are like we don't want like a whole concert. I'm like it's not a whole concert. They don't even have a piano.
No.
It's just a bunch of black ladies screaming. It's great.
Yeah,
I love
having
it.
a good time.
Let's
Like-
get into that for a second. I'm definitely more on the prefer the hymns, but that's just because that's the kind of music I listen to in general. Like my go-to music's like Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with the
So,
contemporary music.
My dad got fired from 2 churches that at least I was told about.
A word.
So the first one he was a youth pastor, and there was you met my dad. Big Papa's a G.
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Of course I'm
Yeah,
interested.
yeah. I was just saying. I was
Thank
saying
you
you
for
met
like
him.
6
You know
years.
he's like he's a G. So like some of like the not great side of town would come to like the youth services with, like their friends when he was there, and like there was one kid that was always talking about he like loved playing guitar, and my dad learned how to play guitar when he was in college, and obviously like back then like guitars kind of were like a no-go at church.
At his church?
Yeah, it has his church, and like
Oh,
What kind of
actually,
church was
you
it?
told me
90s
this.
Southern Baptist. Southern Baptist out in the sticks. I guess 90s ish, and like guitars were still kind of a no-go at church. My dad told his kids like, "Hey, dude, come back next Wednesday. I'll bring my guitar and we can like work on playing together."
Just one-on-one?
I guess like after.
Yeah,
they
but
were
like,
done.
yeah.
But just them two. They weren't they weren't in front of people playing together. They just wanted to like.
Don't tell me he gets fired for this. That is nuts.
So the pastor pulled him to the side. Also, that same pastor too. I don't remember his name. He was also like real racist. Like
Okay.
I can't like the random conversation. This was one reason my dad was thinking about moving on to a different church after this situation happened, and then this guitar thing happened like 6 months later. So apparently this dude like pulled a gun on like a black dude who just was like asking for money. He like walked up and knocked on the window of his car and asked for money, and he like just pulled a gun and said like get out of here. And then he turned to my dad and said some great like dude way worse than anything I could say. Way worse. I was like even to the point where I'm like yeah that's messed up. But yeah, the guitar thing, they got mad at him for inviting people to bring guitars into the church, and him for bringing a guitar in the church. They asked him to leave.
That's insane.
Yeah, I was like, dude, it's not like were you like up there? Did you like bring it out in front of everybody like on Sunday? He's like, dude, it was a Wednesday. It was the kids, and they saw me have a guitar up there, and I didn't even use it. It was just there. And then when that kid like before that kid left, he had like an electric guitar. And him and them like played around working on chords and stuff. He was like showing him some like I guess more advanced stuff. And like I guess there were kids still there, I guess, seeing it, but they weren't like playing for people. They were just there, messing around with guitars. And he was like, "Yeah, no, like leave. We don't want you bringing that kind of stuff into the church." And then the next one, the marriage falling apart was the reason he left that one.
Left or got asked to leave.
Yeah, they both. That one is like less of an argument. Like you like things happen.
Yeah.
That one though, that was dumb. That's just stupid. You're being a good person and get fired.
Yeah, marriage is a tough one in the Christian religion.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely, I don't know. I mean, you have to be really sure, is really the only thing.
Yeah.
Because, like, health-wise, I kind of looked into it. You benefit the most from being in a relationship. That's a good relationship. But you benefit the least, as in it hurts you, actually, like, affects your body the most and your mental state if you're in a relationship that's a bad one.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually better off being single
Yeah,
than being in a bad relationship. So that's where it's kind of like, for a Christian faith, it's like, you really have to choose somebody right
Yeah.
And be sure about it, because per our religion, getting divorced is, I'm not gonna say it's a huge no.
Well, this way I look at it is like
Depends on this.
you can interpret it different ways and try to justify it. You can try, but either way, it's probably a sin. And if every sin is equal and it's just as bad as anything else, unless you want to just try to justify it out of not being a sin at all, it's just as bad as anything else. So that's the way I ended up coming to look at it. That's kind of what my dad ended up looking at it as. But he was like, well, it chalks up to every other bad thing I've done in my life, and things happen, and I'm forgiven for everything. So bad things happen. I did bad things. It's not the first bad thing I've done. It's not the last.
Yeah, the amount of times I get asked, like, oh, am I going to hell because, I got a divorce, or because of so-and-so, I'm like, that's not why you're in hell.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
don't understand.
That's a weird thing too. Is like, especially, that's where I work too. Like, most people like went to Sunday school at some point, but not a lot of like people that have been religious most of their life enlist. So most of the people I work with have barely a Sunday school level knowledge, and I took AP Bible for 4 years. So they'll like ask me questions every once in a while, and it's one of the few things in life I can actually be like knowledgeable of in an area, but at least in the median knowledgeable. Like compared to like obviously like you and the majority of people I grew up with, I'm not as knowledgeable. Especially like my dad, dude's a pastor.
Oh,
I got nothing on the majority of people I grew up with, but
I wouldn't say we're too far off. I mean,
I'd say you do a lot more research than I do on like anything.
But I mean, we took the same classes. I probably do a little bit more now.
Yeah.
But I think you're around it before me for quite a bit. Like, did you grow up? Yeah. So you're like, I really didn't become one until I was 16.
Yeah. I did like the I'm saved thing when I was really little. I don't really know if that's like a thing or not.
Right.
I don't know, but I mean later on in life.
Yeah.
I didn't have like another like aha moment where I'm like, oh, I'm saved. I just kind of like thought about it one day and I was like, I don't know if that counts or not. But because I'm thinking about it right now, that would equate that I am. So
I think we all three kind of had similar things to where we became Christians at a young age.
Yeah.
But I consider myself like a born again Christian at 16. Like we all had something happen later on where we were like, all right, we're down.
Yeah. I didn't have a day. I think I was literally in school one day and I was thinking about it. I was like, I wonder if that counts. It wasn't even Bible class or anything. And I was like, well, in theory, because I'm thinking about it, oh, did that actually count? Would I have to do it again? Would also mean that I definitely am one because I'm thinking about that. And that's a thought going through my mind is, did that count? And I was like, well, if I prayed when I woke up this morning, and I'm going to read my Bible after school today, and I got to live the life. It's not like I'm thinking about this, therefore, like, I for sure am.
Right.
And I just kind of was like, huh, okay, I'm good.
I will say, she does have a pretty good job, pretty good knowledge.
Pastor's daughter her whole life. I wasn't alive
Her
for
No
whole
all
life, 3 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
4 now?
Was it a career change?
Going on 5.
Yeah, why don't you tell a story about how your dad became a pastor?
Most people I know, it's kind of like a lifelong.
Yeah.
They just
So,
start off that way.
my dad became a pastor August 2019. He became interim at the church I'm at now. He became officially the pastor of December of 2019 as well, so really right before COVID. And before that, he had just been kind of like guest speaking at churches and things like that. He'd always been in the ministry since I was little, probably from the ages of 12 to about 15, 16. We were at like a different church, kind of like every Sunday. He was speaking, my mom was singing, doing whatever. And so we weren't at my actual home church a lot from that age, and then my sister during the summer, she played travel softball, so we definitely weren't home. But we just traveled a lot, and so my dad just kind of did, not traveling ministry, but he was all over the place. He'd always ran from it from his entire life, basically. And what did my dad start out doing? So my dad graduated from ECU with an exercise physiology degree. Wanted to be a physical therapist. Didn't end up working out. Worked at Revlon for a little bit. did a bunch of random stuff. He was doing concrete walls when I was younger. That's what he did. He used to travel all the time. Ended up working for a pallet company. Became president of sales there. Got laid off there. Then went and got his real estate license. And basically through all of that, because he had so many career changes, he realized like there was something like missing. Because why aren't any of these sticking? You know, like he finds a good job he enjoys, and like it's paying well, it's providing for us, but something doesn't work out. So he actually talked to me about it because we're very similar. So
She's also a genius.
Huh?
Those are a G.
She's also a genius.
That's not true. So my sister's just like my mom, and I'm basically my dad. Same human being.
I'm in the exact same.
Yeah. So my dad will come to me. My dad will come to me about a lot of things, like whether it's theological questions, just life, things like that. He always likes to hear my perspective on it. So he had preached at my church now. They were trying to find someone to fill in for interim after our pastor before that got asked to leave. That's a whole other story. And so then they offered him, hey, would you like the interim? Are you
You're good. You're good.
Hit your own funny bone?
No, I'm holding that because like, I don't know what's happening. We're good. I'm still alive. Just keep going.
So he asked me. He was like, well, do you think I should become interim at this church? And I was like, I mean, it's interim. Like, I don't see why not. See if you like it or not. And so then he became interim. And then he finally was like, we'll do it. And he's been there ever since, basically. Did I hit everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is interesting. That's very different from like I've met a lot of pastors through my dad and just through being in a church my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one of the more unique ones I've heard of how they got there.
His preaching style is very unique too.
You've told me about it. I genuinely, I'm not trying to get out of it. I genuinely want to go.
You're fine. Very ADHD. Very.
That's what I need. Growing up, I could not pay attention to a single sermon because I had
Neither
my
can-
He'll give you something to pay attention.
Exactly.
What did he say last week? Oh my, this guy stands up. I don't know if I'll be in the camera.
You got it.
He was. What did he say?
He's talking about
Miracles.
hang on. It was something along the lines of like we treat Jesus way too much like a human being. Something like that. And so he was like something of imagine if your friend did this or something like that. And this is what it
He was
is.
like, imagine, he was talking about the apostles, like imagine actually seeing
That's what it was, yeah.
Jesus do all these miracles. It's like, bring him into today's world. He's like, well, my aunt died in 1999. He goes, not anymore!
I died. I lost it. But he doesn't. He literally did it just like that. He went, not anymore, just in the middle, in front of everyone. I was like, oh.
Dude, that's my favorite kind of pastor.
He's so unhinged. I love it.
I've been the pleasure of seeing a few like that are just like, I don't know what they had right beforehand, but they're just going for the whole sermon.
Yeah,
And they're just cooking the whole time. They check their watch. They're like, all right, I gotta stop. I gotta slow down, guys.
and Micah with me. And
Micah said he really enjoyed it.
Did he?
I asked him about it. It's like unbiased opinion from someone not dating the daughter of the pastor. I was the church. He's going, I really enjoyed it. It was nice.
I think the part that made him laugh the most, because he's used to Brandenburg at friendship. You know, it's
very cut and dry.
Yeah, no.
Her dad just has this yellow notepad.
He has a yellow notepad. He gets them from Dollar General.
Yeah.
He buys them a bunch of them all at once. And so, he's preached with them. I mean, that's what he's wrote on, probably since I was born. That exact kind of notepad. He would just get them from Dollar General. So, go ahead.
Well, he just had a piece of paper, and then he was done using it. He just throws it on the ground, and Mike is just like, "What?"
He's not used to that.
The guy doesn't even look. He just rips it. He goes, "Yep."
I'll get that.
He's like, alright, I'm done with that one. He just throws it in. He does it all the time.
Yeah, the average friendship person. What was that?
I think Mike enjoyed her family a lot, though. He was like, You gotta meet your brother.
Matt Jackson.
Brothers.
I've heard stories, but I definitely want to meet him too.
11 years old, size 11 shoe, 5'5".
God, bro.
He's a beast.
Basically my size.
He's a
This
beast.
is insane.
What are you? What are you like? 5'6", 5'7"?
I don't know how tall I am.
No, he's like 5'8" or 5'9". I'm 5'7".
I'm somewhere between.
Matt, stand up. I just got measured the other day.
How tall are you?
5'8".
There's
Nah.
no way.
I just got measured.
Your license says 6 foot.
Yeah, I lied. I lied.
You're not 5'9" because I'm 5'7".
Okay, you
five-
guys both know your
I-
guys' height. Stand up.
I just got measured. They
There's
said
no
I was
way.
5'8". A 5'8", 172 pounds of absolute machine.
I mean, you got like 3 inches on her.
So
So you're like 5'10"?
Okay, the U.S. military just measured me, and they said I was 5'8". So unless they were trying to give me like an ego bump down,
Probably it is a true.
I'm
my
somewhere
license said I'm
between.
6 foot anyway. So
Comparing to people who are about my height, I'm somewhere between 5'5" and 6'2".
cool,
That's my height.
cool, Mike. I'm 6 foot. If
I-
anyone asks, I'm 6 foot. I'm 6 foot. I'm 6 foot.
Um,
I don't know though. I had a bartender tell me I should not lie next time because he's like, my first thought when I looked at this was that it was fake because it said 6 foot. He was like, dude, I know you're not 6 foot. 'Cause I'm 6'1". You're not 6 foot. And I was like, I promise it's real, but I might have lied to the DMV person.
So bad.
um, what was I gonna say?
You're talking about Jackson.
Jackson being a beast.
Oh yeah, no.
5'5".
this is after that.
5'5". That sounds almost like your height.
Oh, somebody at my work asked me the other day. He was like, "How tall are you?" And I was like, "Okay, honest goodness, I've never actually had my height. Like
There's
that.
no way.
Like I've been like
to
the
the doctor.
doctors,
Do
but
you have a tape measure?
not easily accessible at the moment because I don't want to check. But at the doctor's, like the last few times I went, he was just like, "How tall are you?" I was like, "I don't know." And he goes, "You look 5'8". I'm gonna put you down as 5'8".
Yeah.
I said, "Okay."
Dude, the DMV people never questioned it.
Oh,
Well, actually, though, so I gave him the 6 foot lie. Junior year?
Okay, that's insane.
I gave him the
That's
6 foot lie.
insane.
Oh, I haven't. Matt can attest it. I plateaued in junior year. I've been this height and this size since junior year of high school.
I've been this height since freshman year.
I shot up, actually, like, honest to goodness, my senior year going into my freshman year of college.
Yeah, I thought you were still growing.
Mine was late.
Well, Matt doesn't remember this because he didn't really know me back then. He might have seen me, but like
You're
in middle
junior
school,
year? Oh,
no, in middle school, I was the tallest one by a mile.
didn't know you were existed.
And then
Your middle school basketball players were electric, though. You didn't play basketball in middle school?
Who?
Dude, this kid, you gotta tell the story against, was it Wilson Gold? Is that who it was?
bro, I hate you.
He played the FLC program.
Our team was
They're
so
special
bad.
ability.
Our team was so bad. Our rival school, we played their real team once, got washed like
Rival
once.
school was the
we
special
pla-
ed team?
Dude, no. So no,
way.
we played their actual team, just Wilson.
Oh, nothing wrong with the special ed program.
No, they were great
Love
people.
Those guys.
Great people.
But
Yeah,
we're
this-
normal.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with the special ed people.
I
Let's be honest, there is a difference between athletic ability.
Oh no, there was not.
Normally,
There was not.
normally. But in this
2
situation,
point difference.
there obviously was not. Okay.
Full basketball game, 2 point difference in this game between the speedier program and ours. But the first, we played Wilson actual team, washed 80-12.
80-12 in middle school?
Dude, washed us, bro. I don't think we touched the ball. I don't think I touched the court. So I put it that way. We got washed. I didn't even see the court. I think they left me in the locker room.
You can't even watch this
Dude,
game.
I didn't even know how to play basketball. Like any strategy, bro. I barely knew the rules. Because I never no one in my family liked basketball. I knew the rules of football and soccer. Because I liked soccer, and everybody in my family played football, so I knew what football was. But basketball, I can't say what my family called basketball, but I was never taught how to play it.
Oh man, don't do it.
Yeah.
Why do you even mention it? Everyone knows what you said now.
Yeah, so basketball is like not a thing.
Well,
So
this is really evident with the end of the story here.
Yeah, so the first, dude, walked the first time. And they were like, yeah, we have another game against them. We're like, brother, I'm calling in sick. I'm not going to that. We're like, hey, well, we're playing a different team. That's all they told us. We're in middle school, right? We play another middle school team. I was like, yo, they told us against JV. Like, what, they're going to drop 200 on us? You nuts? And they said something like along the lines of it'll be like a fair fight or something.
Playing the girls' team.
I also thought, too, I was like, what if it's going to be a girls' team or something?
Ew.
But, the girls' team would be his.
I was about to say, if you got smoked by a girls' team, that's really embarrassing.
Oh, no, we would have.
I went to a girls' middle school game once, 4 to 4.5. This game.
Okay, that's not normal.
This game went.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Dude, nuts deep. How you not scoring a layup?
This game went to overtime, 12-8.
Okay. I get even with that. No, we're playing.
Did they suck, or were they like just?
No, wait for this
I don't
scoreline.
know.
This scoreline for
Yeah.
middle school boys is about to be nuts. So we get out there and we're playing Wilson Gold, and again, Gold sounds better. So in our head we're like, oh wait, we're cooked. We get out there, we run out, and they have like the other team starts coming out of the locker room. They're walking every direction except towards the court.
Every single one of them got goggles and a buzz.
Dude, the first guy I see looks like Mike Wazowski, but with 2 eyes and gigantic goggles, like not like glasses, not glasses. He's got goggles strapped, like swimming goggles, and I was like, "There's no way." I looked. I think it was Micah. It was Micah or Connor. I went, "Yo,
God.
it's the speedball team, bro. What is about to happen?" And like we were humble enough to know too that we're not necessarily the winners yet.
We got a chance.
All this gave us was a chance at not dying horrendously. And then we get out there. First off, this first game I've seen the court in a while. Because we're not winning. Put it this way, we're going into half. We're not winning. We're losing by 5. And it's like 30-35 at half. In a boys' game. It's middle school, but still boys. Like, yo. 30 points and a half is like still like
That's decent.
it's all right,
Yeah.
but like
It's not bad.
middle school boys now are dropping like 60.
Yeah.
Like our middle school boys team now, I think I was talking to somebody and they were like, yeah, they scored like 70 points in one game. Like it was a good game for them, but like
Dang, that's a lot for middle school.
I think it's still like guys teams. They're usually fairly athletic. I mean, the other one wiped us.
Yeah.
They were wearing tennis shoes.
Yeah.
They were on their hooper shoes that game.
Well, first off, I don't think a 3-pointer was scored the entire game.
Well, we gotta get to your 3 attempt. After.
Oh no, it wasn't a 3 attempt.
No, not this.
The other one?
Yeah.
The bullet?
But
Yeah.
finish this one.
It's a different game.
Yeah.
Going into half, I see time the half of the game, and I forget what happened, but all I remember is the guy that I remember the most coming out of the locker rooms. They were all like something right, and they got their like parents, like that was it. Their parents were in there. Nobody else was in this gym, and they're like screaming for their kids' names, like, "Ah, go Cody!" And Cody's like running the wrong way, and we're at close game. And I get the ball, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get a point." I never scored a point all season. So go ahead and foretell where this is about to go. I didn't score a point the entire season. I get the ball, I dribble in, and Mike Wazowski's staring me down, bro. He's like literally drooling, and I'm like, yeah, I go up for a layup. I hear, dude, as I'm going up for a layup, this dude had hands on him too. His hands were the size of his head. He smacks this ball and lets out the loudest grunt I've ever heard. Just, ball goes flying to the bleachers. It hits the bleachers. I hear boom. It comes back at us, and then everyone, and somebody is screaming, "Michael, yeah!" Michael thought he saw a rock. Like, Michael doesn't know what's happening.
Michael Central layup.
Dude, I got pulled out instantaneously after that. Dude, Michael put up 15 points. Game ended. Oh, dude, such a close game. It ended 42-40. We got it. Dude, funniest. So we're all in the locker room. Like, dude, we first and only win of the season. The only one. Dude, we're all sitting in the locker room at Wilson, and we're like, we just won. Like, okay, we won our game, and we're all just kind of staring at each other like, we can't celebrate this. Like, we just beat. Like, first off, we barely beat. We by a layup beat the Speedball team. Like if I could go over the highlights in my head, I've never seen anything like it. They were literally running every direction other than where they should be going. And they, dude, that Mike Wazowski kid was just nailing kids. He built, a brick wall, and he was using it. I watched Connor, try to dribble past him. This kid barely set a shield. Connor goes flying.
You just call it a shield?
What is it called?
Screen?
Screen? Yeah, dude, my bad. Like I said, I know nothing about basketball. I still don't watch it. I hate basketball. I played because my buddies played. But he set a screen, and gone, bro. Another universe. He wasn't necessarily. He was fat, but he wasn't that fat. But there was one kid too that couldn't even bend his arm all the right way. I remember that too. He was kind of like this, the whole time. I'm telling you, I ain't never seen a thing like it in my life.
Just their starting lineup?
Nice stuff.
Nice.
No, Wazowski though, he was a starter. He was a brick wall. Dude,
15 points, 10 blocks.
Dude,
Guy casually drops a double-double.
I will say too, bro, I was not the only ball that he sent off. Dude, he slapped one so hard, and it was at the half, it hit the backboard. I don't know what he did. Someone was dribbling, he went, whoa! And he also grunted every time. Everything he did, man. Also drooled constantly. I don't think he stopped drooling. But he literally did one of these.
That court was wet.
No.
But his hand made contact with the ball. I forget who was dribbling. It was at the half. He goes, whoa! Flies and hits the backboard of the other one. I was just there's no way. I would just sit on the bench this is pure comedy. I was the wrong guy to be in this game because all I thought is just the best moment of my life. And then the game ends and we're all just kind of sitting there contemplating life. And then Coach Clark, I can't get it out of my head. He comes around the corner. Let's go, boys! Win's a win! Win's a win!
Win's a win. You know it's a bad win if you said a win's a win.
We're all just sitting there in disbelief of everything. The past hour is not real. We're dude, there is no way. It was pretty much just the subs of the soccer team were on this basketball team. And we're just sitting there no, this isn't real. This did not just happen. No, who put us in here first, the sped team? And how did we only win by 2 points?
It's insane.
When I played my year,
You guys were good.
what?
You guys were good.
Well,
You were all right.
Not by these stories I'm about to tell. We got dogged in a few games.
You got dogged by Crossroads at one time, didn't you?
Yeah, very
Well,
first game.
y'all were acceptable.
Yeah, we put up good games.
Yeah, y'all knew how to play the game.
Yeah, we knew what we were doing. We got dogged by some good teams. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
We played sick teams for some reason.
It was our soccer team. We were not good, but if we had played somewhat equally matched teams, we would have done all right.
Our soccer team was good.
Yeah, but
Not skill-wise. Skill-wise we weren't. But
Yeah,
for some reason we were
for some
good.
reason we were all right. But they were Trinity. They were cracked.
5-4 though.
Wasn't it 6-2 and then 2-1?
Not my year.
No, I'm talking about my senior year. My last game ever was against them, and our senior
Oh
year.
yeah, your senior year. You
We
guys lost
played them
6-2
before we went to the playoffs, and we got 6-2 by them. And we're yeah, what is this? And we were my senior year, we were still all right. We were
But you guys had 7, more than that.
we had 7 starters leaving.
9.
We were still all right.
You guys had 9 starters from the year before. The only 3 starters that left were me, Brucey, and Jose.
Well, I don't know if you watched any of the games. We were still all right. We were a team.
Yeah, you guys should have been.
Yeah.
You guys had all your starters left. You guys are missing 3.
Oh yeah, but we were all right. And then we played Trinity. We got 6-2. We're rough start.
Well, Trinity was good that year.
Yeah, and then Wilson backed out of their game because I actually wasn't going to play that year. I only played to play Wilson. as a senior. So I was
They
gonna
didn't
I was
play
gonna
us-
get a red card on purpose. Was my whole goal.
They didn't play us for a few years because we would have beat them.
Yeah.
Same thing with RCA and Elements.
Yeah.
They all backed out because they
I know people that went to Elements.
Really?
Mhm.
I liked Elements. It's
I like
awesome.
them. They were cool. But yeah, Trinity 6-2'd us, and I was like, this is a rough start to this league. Like, this is not great. And then we had, like, it was a rough season, I think. We had, like, one more loss than win. But, I mean, like, in the grand scheme of things, it's all right. And they weren't, like, we weren't really getting blown out every game. It was like we'd get, like, 2-1 or, like, 3-2.
That was the same year the year before. Same as the year before.
Yeah, we would just a lot of close games. We just somehow always came out on bottom.
Our
I think that was our goalie. I blame our goalies my entire high school.
I don't know why, but man, Bert was amazing my senior year. All
yeah,
you
your
guys
senior
played.
year, Bert was
an all-state goalie.
Yeah.
He got all-state.
Yeah, Bert was nuts that year, but senior year it was bad.
I don't know why.
And then
you
before senior year,
you guys just put all your effort in that year. You guys tore it up my senior year.
well, it's because last time we cared. Because we knew once you left, our team was going to drastically drop in skill, and we kind of knew this was our one chance to like maybe get to a quarterfinal. And we were like, yo, we got Matt with us, bro. For Matt, bro. Everybody, we gotta go far. And we were
You guys trained like crazy. Like you guys all came out in
all-
the summer.
we sweated, dude. Senior year, bro. None of that happened. Nobody cared. So we were like, we're gonna get dogged, and we didn't really get dogged that bad. And then our last
That's not a few games. You
round
guys
of we're round of 16 in the playoffs. We get Trinity again. We got 6-2 by in the beginning of the season. We're like, bro.
Well, that's what happened with Charlie's softball team in her high school year. Charlie's age, so my age, because I'm the year above her, because I graduated the same year you did. So she had 2 people leave. So there's 9 positions in a softball field. Charlie's senior year, 7 of those positions left and graduated. So they had to basically
that was
like.
your senior after your senior year.
So, but
Yeah.
6 of those 7 were going to play for college. So like they were
We were
nasty.
not the same.
Yeah.
No way, that was that
We
was-
had a single guy that ended up playing in college.
Yeah. But I mean,
Oh, we did.
Charlie, Kayla, Kaya. Oh God, I don't remember who else.
I got a letter from one
Avery.
school though, offering me to come out.
Who
The only-
offered you?
No, it was like D3, like bottom of the barrel D3.
I mean,
Head 3 soccer is fun.
Yeah, I know. I thought about it. They,
We had a couple guys that could have, but nobody that did.
I think a lot of us could have played bottom of the barrel D2 or D3. I think if I cared a little bit more, I could have done D3. I think Micah could have easily done D2 if he wanted to.
I mean,
I think Jose could have had a chance for D2 or D3.
here's where the issue comes.
Not a 1D1 prospect. Not a 1. Maybe other you maybe if you wanted to.
Why didn't you offers?
Interesting.
Yeah, I had a couple.
Yeah.
The difference was because like I trained Mike up until his torn ACL, right?
I think even with his torn ACL, he could have come back around and played D2 if he wanted to.
Yeah, I mean
Connor maybe. I don't know.
where it really falls is just they hadn't played. Cause so the best examples I can use, right, is not gonna name any specific people, but we played a particular group of kids from Portugal.
Oh, I remember them, bro.
I've played with them in a few college games. They had the skill to play. They got dropped first tryout of every single game I went to because they couldn't pick up the speed of the game. So that's what you can't tell from one-on-one training, and you can't tell from high school ball.
Yeah.
So it's like Micah, I think, had the ability to,
Yeah.
but until you actually see him do it,
You
same
don't-
thing with
you
me.
don't really
like,
know.
yeah, same thing with me. I'm not going to positively say I could have played at any level because I
I think.
didn't. So
Yeah.
I think that's where it falls. I'm a high school player. Mike is a high school player. Like, until
yeah,
you play,
yeah, until you play, you don't really know.
yeah, until you play, you don't know.
I scrimmaged with a group of D2 guys down by base, right when I first got there, and their speed of play was nuts.
Oh no, yeah.
And they from what they said, they were actually playing D2, and one of them was playing for ECU. I don't know what they are.
Well,
What they are?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
ECU doesn't have a soccer team.
I don't know what he was doing. He said he played.
They have a club team.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I guess he was
Lions
club, but the other 2 guys were actually.
At least I
they
don't
were-
think they do. Last
They
time I
said
checked,
they were
don't.
D2. I don't know where. I don't know where they were. They said they were D2.
Everything there, 1 or 2 touch.
Yeah, them 2 were nuts. So they put me with the ECU guy. So we kind of. I'm not gonna say we got dogged on. I mean, it was 2v2s. and that was like at probably one of my more peak athleticism moments. And I just was trying to get back into soccer a little bit, so I hadn't played in a while. But the other kid was pretty nasty with his feet, and I was fairly athletic, so we did all right. I think it was like we played first at 20. I think it ended with us at like 14. I think that's 20.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It wasn't a blowout at all. And I was asking, I was like, oh, I hadn't listed. So I'm like, obviously not going to college. And they were like, from what we can tell, it's not like you're miles away.
Yeah.
But like, if you really cared, you could have played at college somewhere. Like,
I think,
easily.
honestly, think that anybody can play. In my opinion, on everything, like anybody can do anything. It's like it really just depends on how much you're willing to put in.
Okay, you're telling me I could play D1 sport?
Do you want beer dye? Still.
Tear up beard.
Honestly, yeah.
Maybe so.
But yeah, you just have to learn like you'd have to be way more skilled than anybody.
Yeah, but like, skill also has to come naturally to some degree.
To a degree.
I'm with you to a point, but anyone can become good at anything,
Yeah.
but you can't become.
I wouldn't say D1.
You can't become
D1 you have to have.
Yeah.
And I would say college at all, because college.
I would say if you
college sports, you
really
have to be
care,
really good to play in college. You have to be in the top like 1% of soccer players play in college.
Yeah.
Any level of college.
Yeah.
So
I'd say if anyone really cared and they had like from freshman to senior year, you could get into a D3 college if you really cared and trained.
Yes.
And you
100%.
played every year. You didn't take a year off. And you trained constantly.
I mean, I really didn't start training until my sophomore year. So
Yeah, you're already nuts athletic though.
Can't say the same.
But I was saying like someone that's not crazy athletic. They started their freshman year and they really cared and trained for all 4 years and played all 4 years in high school at a competitive level of some sort. You could probably get into a D3 school. I think if I really cared, I could have at least made it through tryouts and sat a bench for a couple years at a D3 school and maybe played towards junior and senior year. Do I want to do that for the point of going to get a degree I don't care about currently? No.
let's get into college for a second, because all three of us decided.
Drop out.
I was like,
I didn't even try.
It
I didn't
Well,
even put a shot up.
I transferred.
Transferred to not.
No, I transferred.
I will honestly say that at this point, I think all three of us are farther along than most people our age.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, Caden has he has a free education ahead of him.
Yeah.
You are like the youngest funeral director ever.
Not ever, but like, yeah. I've
But
been
either
at
way,
this by 12 years. At work, at least.
Your work is paying for your school, as of for now. Not gonna have much debt.
Mm-mm.
Caden
I
won't have
only
any
debt
debt.
from Liberty.
Yeah.
So-
Caden won't have any debt.
Me? I have debt, but that's why
Yeah.
I'm retarded.
I'm talking about education.
It's education debt.
Yeah,
I
so
only have 16. I'm sure that's down by now, because that was 2 years ago.
you only had 16 hours.
Yeah. From a $40,000 a year school, I only had 16. I'm fine with that.
I studied online where the most my education was $6,000. I'm making far more than that. So I'm able to pay it off with it.
Yeah.
With that being said, my education is actually cheaper now than it was at the time. That was the most it was $6,000.
A year?
Because online school is dirt cheap. If you know how to, like,
That's what I'm trying to
They
get
don't-
Coco into, because she doesn't. Nuts thing. She's living on her own as a 21-year-old woman, living by herself with a GED.
and I'll say that, we have gotten to a point where I will say it's probably, I hate to say you don't need an education, like a college education. Your field, obviously, no, because you have trade studies,
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
technically
what-
trade, so yeah. But
which takes just as much time as a 4-year degree.
If not more, for some
don't
trade.
even get me started. Like,
But, like, it is starting.
Starting to
We're
go
really
back
the
around,
first.
so you don't really need it.
yeah.
You don't need it for the actual purpose of the education. You need it because a lot of people aren't going to hire you with that one.
See, I think we're getting back around, or we're about to see a huge jump in trades. Not
We
like
should.
not
Yeah.
not
How much
my
money?
trade specifically, but just like in my area at least, nobody there ain't got a college degree.
I think employers are starting to realize too.
Yeah.
Most of college is drinking and wasting money.
Yeah.
And
all they care
this
now
person has a
is
piece of paper that said they went somewhere and did GPT to do half their
yeah.
classes.
All they care now, for us at least, is you got an associate's, which you can do that in high school where I'm at. So I mean,
Sure.
all they care is you got an associate's. Really, as long as you have that, half the time they'll pay for you to finish school.
Well, has Micah Sommer talked to you about what he's doing now?
Yeah.
That's what.
What are you doing?
Well, now he's planning on becoming a fireman.
Well, so he was going to get a PT degree,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's what he wanted to do. And he was this was like a year ago. He was talking. He's like, I'm looking down the barrel of another 6 more years. He's like, I don't hate school, but I don't like it, man.
Yeah.
They were talking to me. I was like, hey man, if it's what you really want to do, it'll be worth it in the long run. And he just randomly called me the other day for some reason. We were just talking about something. I forget what it was, and it just kind of came up. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm not doing PT anymore. I was like, brother, what happened? Like, what are you gonna do? And he goes, yeah, I'm like 100% like decided on it. I'm finishing out my associates at Wake Tech. I'm not transferring anywhere else, and I'm just gonna become a firefighter. And I was like, dude, that's solid.
Yeah.
Now, shouldn't mention, because we are making like generalizations that we
Yeah.
need to specify a little bit. Some occupations,
Yeah,
you need
a
If
degree.
that
you're a
education.
doctor, you need a degree.
If you're
Like,
talking
lawyer.
if you're doing PT, please have a degree.
Yes.
Now, at the same time, every single thing, no matter what it is, you can learn online. Don't care what you're doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely can learn online.
Well, the crazy thing is like most of like a large. Not saying about. I'll generalize here. A lot of stuff for becoming in the medical field, including doctors, is there's classes, but you spend a ton of time in a hospital doing clinicals.
Yeah, I was just about
It's
to say.
almost all hands-on, like going into a trade, but it's all
Yeah.
under the guise of a degree.
Yeah,
Which-
I'll bank on that. You need the education as a foundation to understand what you're learning.
Yeah.
Because unless you understand all the anatomy on a textbook, you're not going to understand it.
Well, it's like a doctor
In the
goes to
field.
school for like 10 years. A lot less of that is in a classroom than what you would think because they have 10 years in school. But in reality, like, oh, you spent like 3 to 4 doing classes mixed in with clinicals, and you just did a ton of clinicals.
Yeah. Which, like, with what I do, I mean, I still have to take classes with my job now. So it's like, you could give me a diagram of the human body, and I'm going to be honest with you, as of right now, I'm probably not going to be able to name every single thing. But if you, like, I've learned so much more, like, actually physically doing something rather than reading out of a textbook.
Right.
You know?
And, like, same thing with, like, accounting. You need
Captain Ann, shout out. Sorry.
you need the foundation of your schooling to be able to understand what you're going to be doing, but you really don't know what you're doing until you get forced into what you're doing,
Dude,
like in your actual job.
I was talking to a job recruiter. It was a friend of a friend. We were at some like dinner thing, and I asked them what they did. And they were like in their 30s. And I was like, they're like, I'm a job recruiter. Like I find people and like put them into trying to get them jobs. I was like, ah, cool. They're like a headhunter for some HR thing or something.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And I was like, yeah, I might need one of those one day because my transferable skills are about nada. And she was like, well, what are you? I was like, oh, I'm a Marine currently. And she was like, oh, what do you do? And I was like, well, I was infantry for like a while, and then now I worked in an armory. And she was like, well, what does that like consist of? Like, walk me
I
through
was
what
about to
you
say
do.
that. She's going to want you.
Yeah, and I was like, well, like beforehand, it was just running and then playing with guns. And she was like, yeah, that doesn't really transfer. And I was like, yeah, it really doesn't. But now, like the armory, it's like pretty much we just have to know and keep everything working for like hundreds of items. She was like, well, okay, like what do you mean by that? I'm like, well, you've got like I started like off the top of my head, 114 M27s, which are like an automatic rifle. And I was like, 17 of the optics we use for that, 158 of the other the laser optic we use for it. You have to like basic maintenance on them, and then we have to like do all the paperwork to transfer it to other people to do the maintenance, like the higher level maintenance on these things, and like 147 and then I said I apologize, 147 in our current space where we store them, and then we have another 16 out for the maintenance right now. So like that's literally inventory accounting. And she was like, how much like money is everything in there cost? I'm like, I think it's 4.6 million in the bay that I work in, and there's like like an NCO in charge of it, and a couple of us that help do all like the busy work. No, not the busy work. It's a lot more than busy work. Like it's still doing like the paperwork for transfer and stuff. If you mess that up, I had to sign the thing saying like, yeah, you go to prison if you lose something that's like a weapon system. If I'm the reason like an actual rifle or a suppressor goes missing, I'm going to jail. But she was like, that's like inventory accounting with the amount of money you're taking care of. That's like a job. If you do inventory accounting out like in a civilian world for that much money worth of equipment, that's like an actual like paying job.
Well, I don't know if she gave you like specifics, but off the top of my head, like, I think if you wanted to make the most right after you got out of the military, assuming, because I know your plan was to go get an education because it's free, right? Yeah. I don't know if you still are, but either way, like, let's say you did want to go and get an education. At the same time, you could work in any gun store and get pretty good pay because you know about all of the weapons at the highest level.
Well, that's actually a kind of unfortunate misconception. I know a lot.
Oh, I'm talking about in the armory, not just like being in the military.
Yeah, no,
you don't think that
even
helps
the
a lot?
armory. Gun stores sell like variety for every person. The Marine Corps bought what they need and gave it to us. So in reality, like, yeah, we have like 7 or 8 different weapon systems, but a gun store has like a couple hundred.
Yeah, good point. I didn't think about that.
Like, if it came to like weapon safety and like, hey, like, can you do basic maintenance on a rifle? Yes, I'd be excellent. I know how to clean a rifle very well. I know how to take care of it. I know how to like basic like stuff. If certain things break inside of a bolt or the barrel, or like gas chambers, like anything like that, I can do maintenance on it. But if someone brings in like a hunting rifle, I'm just gonna kind of look at it and be like, that's cool looking.
All right, well, either way,
I don't know what to do with it.
But with the inventory management, working any warehouse, because handling inventory, the amount of time that takes, and people are hiring all.
I think you saw the sheet in the bottom of my floor.
Yeah,
like
and now you get a computer, which makes it way easier.
Yeah. You saw that sheet.
There's handwriting on these sheets.
Oh God.
I have to handwrite every day the amount of every single thing in there, all the way down from bayonets to multi-shot grenade launchers, M32s.
Saw a statistic the other day that blew my mind. How many rifle murders happened, or killings?
It's such a small number.
In the U.S. in 2022, it's under 400.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You would think at least I would think it's at least in the tens of thousands.
Yeah, because of how much it's hyped up. Yeah.
Yeah, and people are like...
More people die walking on the side of the road from a rock.
First off, I know assault rifle isn't a real thing, but people claim like assault rifle kills, right? Well, that's not like a...
It's not like a real thing.
It's not really a...
Like, well, there's like... I get when people like say it that don't know a whole lot about guns.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, there's a hunting rifle, it's a rifle, and then they have an assault rifle, still a rifle, but one... Even like the civilian ones that are like only semi-automatic, you can dump a 30-round mag in seconds. In seconds.
I understand what people
kill an
mean
entire classroom in like a couple
seconds.
Dude, seconds. Or a hunting rifle, I gotta do this every time. It only holds 5 or 6 rounds. It's just nonsense.
Like, we understand what they're meaning,
give me a
but
Daniel
it's
defense, I can walk in.
It's not an actual thing. Yeah. But we understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
But
I think it's more...
It's the deadliest ones. It was like, no. If you want to get rid of the deadliest ones, you got to get rid of handguns.
Yeah.
Or knives.
Those knives kill
way
so
more
many
people.
Yeah.
So are you going to ban
I guarantee
knives?
you dumped we have 182 bayonets. If we dumped 182 bayonets in the streets of Jacksonville, or dumped our 114 M27s, I'm pretty confident those bayonets are going to kill more people than those weapons are. Because that's a whole crime scene with a weapon. With a knife, throw it into the creek somewhere. There's no evidence at all. You can't match it to anything. But you kill someone with a weapon, you can ballistics, match it. There's a loud noise. Everybody's going to hear it. It's not a quiet thing. And it's long and heavy. The knife and those little bayonets, stick it right in your pocket. But those RM27, they come up, like I put the barrel on the ground with a suppressor on it, it's coming up to my waist. And that's without it fully extended. It's a musket. RM4s are a little bit smaller. Those, you can... If you're a tall dude with a really long coat, you could maybe...
For sure. M4? Yeah, if you're over 6 foot, you can.
If you're over 6
You can
foot
hide
and you
it.
got a longer coat, a little bit longer than your waist, you could put one like up here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still hard to conceal. And in 27, you're not concealing one. I'm telling you right now. I've tried. I ain't concealing. Do 240s? We got our belt-fed machine guns. You ain't concealing. None of that nonsense, bro. That thing, you're gonna see the person sweating. If they find a way to cover it up.
Alright, there is a topic that we hit, and then we were gonna come back to, and we haven't yet, and that's the moon landing. You don't believe it's true. You love conspiracies.
I think we've been to the moon. I think there's a lot more stuff on the moon.
Oh, you think
so
there's
you're
more
the
stuff?
opposite.
You think there's
Okay,
more stuff than there's
so my dad
What
doesn't
could
believe.
be?
Listen, so my dad believes that sure we have been to the moon. He does not believe we went to the moon the first time we did though. Not at all. Because my dad's main argument he likes to bring up is
It doesn't. The pictures don't look right.
the pictures don't look right. But he says I can't get cell service on my phone with 5 minutes down the road, but we can send a rocket to the moon in 1960, whatever it was. That doesn't make any sense. So since then, sure. But the first original moon landing, my dad does not believe in one.
I think the pictures are funny because they're editing stuff out.
Yeah. They
In
literally
my
did it just to.
opinion.
Yeah.
They literally did it just to get under Russia's skin.
I think Russia was.
Russia.
I think Russia was already there.
What? Why wouldn't they say anything? Okay, here's my thing. One,
This is Russia.
No, because there's stuff on the moon.
there's no other report of us going to the moon besides that one time.
I have to change my theory now about what I
What?
think's going on.
I
It's
don't
become
know.
too mainstream.
You
Too
know,
many people agree with me, and I don't like it.
I've seen Croczilla.
Oh, right, buddy. I'm gonna need this story to turn around quick.
I just don't see any type of CGI being good enough to be like sure.
That I kind of.
The
that
video's
kinda makes
not
sense.
great,
Okay,
but
first
it's
of all,
like
who's talking about CGI? This is 1960 something. They are completely using movie props.
I think if they did fake it, it was all real. It was just movie props.
Yeah.
I think if they did fake it, but I don't think they did fake it. I think it's just they're editing stuff out.
I haven't looked into it really. I've
First of all, I think there's a lot of resources on the moon that are like being hidden, and then I also think we know a lot more. Also, I was big into the whole alien thing, and now it's become mainstream.
you're huge in it.
Yeah, now I'm kind of backing off because now if people are admitting to it, it's obviously not true. If they're telling me it's true, it ain't real. I don't believe it. The government's admitting to it. Yeah, it ain't real. But I don't think there is something. I think it could tie into religion too.
They're what?
My dad
Religion,
believes
too.
it ties into religion.
I think it
in
does
regards
too.
to angels. Or not angels, sorry. Aliens.
I think it might be like a religion thing.
What do you mean?
It might have to like do with like spiritual stuff, like alien stuff might be more tied into like a
My
more spiritual
dad
thing.
my dad has a perspective. I don't know if this is 100% what he believes, but he has this kind of idea he was toying around with for a while where it was like, what if these aliens are literally like fallen angels or something along those lines, and they're finally like starting to come back to kind of like, I don't know, but yeah.
I'm kind of not against that.
Okay.
He can go into this whole long theory, you know how he is, but
I think my dad has a very similar theory
Yeah.
ran by me that aliens are more of like fallen beings.
Alright.
And I don't know. I have one dude. This is a little bit out of pocket, but his like whole thing. He thinks it's like a spiritual thing, and that he's like there's not an answer to it being in the Bible. The Bible's a baseline of what we're supposed to believe. There's a lot more stuff that's just not covered that's not needed to be covered. Which I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
yeah.
It's an opinion, and I'm not going to say anyone that believes that's not a Christian. You can believe there's way more to it, and that it's just not covered because it doesn't need to be covered. But I don't know.
I haven't looked into anything that we've talked about, so I really have zero opinion.
Do you believe in giants?
Giants?
If you don't believe yes, I'm gonna throw something at you.
Giants like modern day or giants like in the Bible? Being like 9'8", like Goliaths. Yeah, I mean, I have no reason to believe Goliath wasn't this super tall human that was a mega man.
Do you think humans used to be bigger, and with the fall of man, we started getting shorter and smaller?
The fall of man, so like Adam?
Do you think like Adam and Eve were like huge, and with the fall of man, people just started getting shorter and shorter? And then after the flood, it got exponentially worse, and that's why like lifespans decreased, and we all like statistically people are like height's declining.
Well, my thing, there's no way heights decline because we've gotten taller over the past 100 years.
But like,
what you're saying about Noah?
Mhm.
I do have that question of, they lived for much longer time, but what was the quality of life over that time? Like obviously 100 years old now is insanely old, but they were living for 5 times that amount of time. So at 100, were they looking like we were like 20? Like what did they look like at that age?
I think
if they developed for longer periods of time, like if they developed their height into their 40s, I would think they're taller.
I think probably into like early hundreds. They were getting like, I mean, maybe hit their growth spurt in their 80s.
That's an insane thought.
I think that's how it used to be. And also, this is another thing too, a little bit conspiracy theory. I think, like obviously, or like technology.
Technology?
Yeah, that's the word. But more technological.
Bro. So that's been a word for years.
Oh right. We're more advanced now in theory, but were we more advanced in a different way at a different time?
Oh yeah, like before the flood. I heard somebody make that argument that we were far beyond.
I think we were far beyond what we are now, but just in a very different way. I think we had different forms of electricity, different forms of energy, different ways of being compared than we used to be than we do now, which also has to do with the lifespans changing. The argument would be like, then where did it all go? Because like for us, it'd be like, oh, the flood is our only big catastrophe in our mind that we believe in. Considering we're all Christians, it's like, oh, you believe the flood happened, and like, oh, that could have wiped out all technology. But if you're thinking back to like when you can look back in time and try to figure out how did that even happen and what is going on there, is after the flood periods. Like, imagine what it was like before the flood, like the Egyptians. Like we look back at that, and that's where like a lot of people are like, ooh, technology must have been in a different level than what was it like before the flood, even before everything got like kind of restarted, and then Noah just had to start over and pass down what he knew. So I don't know that's where like conspiracy theories kind of start getting really crazy. It's like, how did we deviate to now become what we are from that technology? When was the deviation from like the burning of the Library of damn it. I know.
Alexandria?
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I know a good bit about history, but my brain's not helping me today. That Library of Alexandria, and when stuff like that burned down, like what knowledge and what technology did we have at that time that is now, like how did that all get lost and restart? And like, do people still know about it? Is there a secret society of people that still know the old ways of technology, and they're even more advanced than Apple? That's the argument. It's like, where did it go? Because there's no way everyone just forgot how the pyramids are built. I heard a really crazy theory that I actually that's kind of my like forethought of how it happened, but that's just my thing. So you can still do it with like certain sounds, create vibrations enough that it can like literally pick up small rocks and move it. I think they had a form of that they were able to create a sound that created a vibration powerful enough to move those blocks around. Because you can do it, you can to this day with like a wooden pipe make enough vibrations to pick up a rock and literally move it around with the sound.
So your argument is technology not as in the way we're looking at.
And our version of technology is a computer chip, but back then their technology was an understanding.
Yeah, they had figured out easier ways
to use energy and vibrations.
Easier ways to use what they had.
I think they had like sun-powered like electricity.
Solar panels?
Yeah, but like not solar panels, like through just minerals and rocks, which we know can conduct electricity. We know the sun can create electricity. I think they've figured out a way to harness that. There's also no way to prove it, and if there is a library of Alexandria in heaven, I'm going to be in there for a fat minute trying to figure out what was going on.
Don't you walk with God? Why don't you just ask him?
Solid point. Solid counter
Make
argument.
it way harder.
I'd be like, hey man, like I don't really
I
want to
was
waste.
working in heaven, bro. I'm done.
I would be like, hey man, I know you got like other people with like dead relatives they need to like talk to you about. Like, can you just like snap a library into existence for me real quick? I'm just gonna go chill in there for a minute. You cool with that?
Yeah, I guess. I pride myself in trying to learn as much as I can. Every single topic you guys have brought up, I've never even.
Well, most of mine are out of pocket. Like, there's no real reason to research what I'm saying because it has no bearing on your life right now. It has no bearing on your future because at no point are we going to reharness that. And if anybody does, is it going to be an accepted technology the government doesn't try to cover up? But at the same point too, that's what I'm trying to say. Is like, where did that go? And like, why isn't that commonplace now? Because that happened, and there shouldn't have been a catastrophe.
Well,
or was it just very like sacred knowledge that only a few people knew? And maybe the burning of the library might have been what literally destroyed it all, and a couple people knew about it and just didn't pass it on.
one thing that is on your side is the fact that they did live way longer. They had a lot more time. So whenever somebody's born, it's like a reset. They have to start everything from the beginning. And when they die, it's over, right? Well, when you have 5 times the amount of lifespan, you're continuously building your knowledge.
Yeah.
When you're
for 5 times
9'8"
longer.
and you're studying and you're just listening to sounds in the earth around you for 900 years, you might figure a thing or two out. And you're probably going to tell your kids about it when they're in their 200s, and they're going to start working on it until they're 900 and pass it on and pass it on and pass it on. And then I'm sure Noah knew a good bit. He was an old and wise guy that was smart enough to talk to God and realize the world's about to end. And he actually listened to him and built a boat.
I
He
don't know
probably
if I realized. I think he was just told, like, bro, like,
okay. He definitely realized the world around him was
Build a
falling
boat.
apart. Well, he definitely knew the world was going to a bad place. And then when God told him to build a boat, he was like, "Yeah, this guy's on the right track." Dude's a real one for the warning.
it's just fascinating conversation. The only conspiracy I ever did dive into was the JFK assassination, but
Oh, I went pretty deep in that too.
that's
I
one
don't
that-
even remotely think this dude really willingly decided to do it. There's too much evidence saying otherwise. Are you second shooter, or are you the CIA made that one guy do it?
I don't see a single possibility that one guy took those shots. Doesn't make any sense to me.
I think he did it. I think he did it.
You think
First
he took
off,
all 3 of those shots?
dude, best shot the Marine Corps ever produced.
No, he didn't have the best shot.
I think he did.
He lost his sharpshooter status.
While he was in the Marines?
Yeah.
Yeah, so did I. Still a decent shot. Still a better shot than
Well,
you will ever be.
The thing that doesn't make sense is
Let's go shooting right now. See who's a better shot.
the thing that doesn't make sense is that he shot 3 bullets in not enough time to shoot 3 bullets with the gun he had. It takes too long to lay
I'm
down.
not deep enough into it, but
But the
so
shots.
was he a CIA emplacement and there was another CIA shooter? Is it your theory? The CIA shooter knew exactly
I
what he was
think the
doing.
mafia shot him. I think the CIA and the mafia work together,
I'd be on board with that.
and it's because they've worked together many times throughout history.
Oh yeah,
So-
I'm not even remotely not into that one. I'm tracking. I think they definitely still do.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That mafia sucks now.
I mean, yeah. Well, you never know. Like things evolve. If we're talking about like the Egyptians and whatever knowledge was there, things change and move. The mafia might still very well be a thing. It's just not
They
as
are a
open
thing.
because it can't be open anymore. Because it's now like this glorified thing. If the mafia was just a thing, you'd have like random people wanting to be a part of it. But now if it's a more enclosed families and generations of, there's the mafia, but now we don't know it's the mafia.
Well,
People show up dead every day, and we don't know what happens. It's a staggering stat if you look at how many murders we don't know what happened.
Oh yeah.
it's 50% of murders
Yeah.
that don't go unsolved.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying there still is a mafia. There's way less prevalent.
Yeah. No, I'm saying there's like that's like the out in the open. We still know that's very clearly a thing, but I think there's probably still more to it, and it's a lot bigger than it even used to be. But it's just a lot more hush hush, and a lot in a different industry than it is now. I think it's more
So it's
economical.
not the mafias. I still follow the mafia today.
Not that, yeah, not remote, not attached to what you're thinking anymore.
Okay, so not the actual Italian mafia.
No, I still think there's
Another entity.
another entity that moved on. Like, so let's say the mafia back in the day when it was really big. I think when like kind of the fall and it becoming not as big thing, people broke off, and they're still like, now they're not attached at all, but they're still a massive crime organization. That's literally just we just don't know they exist.
Okay, so I'll tag along to that. I will say I don't think it's anybody from the original mafia.
I don't think it's anyone from the original.
I think it's tech savvy people who have a lot of money,
That's what I'm saying.
can work the internet, and the exact same way as the mafia and the politicians work hand in hand.
yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's the exact same thing, but they're just
Politicians want money.
Yeah.
These guys have a lot of money, so they work together. And
I was just equating it to it's nothing like the mafia at all.
I'll get behind that. I mean, I don't have any.
It's criminals in a more modern way.
But since then, members of the mafia have come out and claimed the murder of JFK, and claimed to have worked with the CIA. I read through all the declassified documents, and they purchased the weapons through a mafia guy, or just 8. And I do think that there was 8 people ready to shoot that day. Not all 8 shot. I think 3 shot, but I think 8 people had guns on them. And were prepared to shoot a fire on a bullet.
Have I ever told you what my mom told me about her stepdad?
Well, no.
So, her really bad stepdad, Jack.
Yeah.
He, something when my mom was little, obviously she wasn't alive when JFK got assassinated, but there was something on the TV. And, my grandma told my mom something along the lines of when she was little. She was like, oh, like, Jack knows some people that, like, were involved in that. And, like, apparently, according to my grandma, she's told me this separately, that Jack somehow had ties to the mafia.
It must matter. A lot of people are associated.
I mean, my grandma, I don't doubt it one bit from the stories and the facts that I know from, like, actual proof that I've seen. But, like, my, like, great uncle and all of his, like, kids and his dad and all of them were legit criminals out in the woods of, like, Virginia.
Yeah,
and then they had ties to, like, a mob, some sort of a mob that was working in New Orleans.
Well, that would be the Italian mafia. Where's in New Orleans?
Not one bit of my family's Italian, and I don't think they.
You don't have to be Italian to be associated with them.
They're definitely associated.
You can't.
They were running crime in New Orleans. They were doing crime in that area. And a lot of it.
You cannot be a made man in the Italian mafia unless
You are Italian.
From up until I think it was late 70s, you had to have both your parents to be Italian. I know in the 80s it changed to your dad had to be Italian. But there's no way at any point in history could you get in without at least your dad being Italian.
Yeah.
However, they worked with other people who were
Probably a lot of my relatives.
anything, but they did the dirty work.
Yeah.
So your relatives would have done dirty work.
That would track. Because one was, he worked in a circus, a traveling circus, as a sharpshooter. And yeah, my grandma remembers they'd make her put a cigarette in her mouth when she was a kid, and they'd shoot the tip off.
That's insane.
That was it. There's also other mafia groups. I don't want to make it sound like the Italian mafia is the only one. There's plenty of other mafia groups, but
well, those are the kind of people. They were dirty circus trash.
The Italian ones were the most prominent in that area.
They worked at a restaurant in New Orleans and were doing crime on the side. And then her other uncle was in Virginia, and they were all moonshine runners.
Yeah.
From the 60s to the 90s. That was their generational trade. They were moonshine runners.
Just
Those
like
people
the Kennedys.
The first people that started souping up the cars to go fast.
Yeah.
I swear it's in my blood. My grandma, first time I got a wreck, she's like, it's in you. It's like my whole family. She was like, my dad. Her dad was sharpshooter.
Prohibition started two things. That is the growth of the mafia and NASCAR.
Yeah. That's a fact. They actually raced there. She said she remembers going to a race on the weekends with them when she was really little. They go race around a dirt track in those old Fords.
That's
And she remembers she'd go on rides with her uncle delivering blueberry juice. And clear bottles. And she would hear
moonshine.
these clear bottles would be bouncing around in the seat behind her, and he would tell her to put her hand down and keep from making too much noise, and go whip through town and deliver them to all their people.
I was actually watched the life of Henry Ford the other day.
Interesting guy.
Horrible man.
He made, in my opinion, he made all of his money off World War II.
Well, yeah, he sold to every side. He
Yeah.
sold to the Germans. He sold to the U.S.
Yep.
He
I
sold
watched a
everybody.
video on Fordlandia the other day.
On what?
Fordlandia. Ever heard of that?
Fordlandia?
Yeah.
What's that?
So, Henry Ford bought a specific patch of land because Henry Ford actually owned like basically all of the patents and stuff for every part of every car except the rubber.
Okay.
He couldn't make rubber. So he bought this patch of land in South America in order to grow rubber trees and stuff. So basically all of these Americans like were coming down, there was like a few thousand of them there, to move to this plant to make rubber for him. But I mean, you can't just grow rubber trees overnight. It takes a long time. They're solitary trees, so like if one gets sick, typically the rest of them are fine. But like he never stepped foot on the island. And basically it was like a summer camp where like you had to follow these rules, you had to do this, you had to do that. And so these people from South America were also coming in to try to get a job here, to get money. And so you couldn't have alcohol, you couldn't have anything. And so,
I was like an internment camp to make
Yeah,
rubber.
keep going.
Okay.
I remember.
That's actually a fun one.
I'll send you, I watched a video about it.
I don't know why I never heard it called as Fordlandia. It's called
Yeah.
as Ford's Rubber Island. And it
I
was pretty
call it,
much just
yeah.
an internment camp for.
Pretty
It ended up
much.
becoming an internment camp for a bunch of South Americans to
Yeah.
make rubber for Fords.
So basically,
Make good cars though.
so he like you had to only like watch specific movies. It could only, all of it had to be American made. Nothing else was allowed to be from anywhere else. American movies, American TV shows, American whatever. And so Ford, like I said, he never stepped foot on this island, but the people ended up getting so annoyed with how like the managers and stuff were treating them that they ended up overthrowing them. And it was like basically a huge riot. And like basically everything got shut down. These people were getting paid $20 an hour to work there in 20 something. Like that's insane. And so
I don't think it was 1920.
whatever.
It was earlier than that. I think it was. Might have been right after the war. See, that's
Yeah.
when he was trying to make rubber.
Yeah, it was right after the war because in that
So,
video that
50s?
he had mentioned that he was a big fan of the Prohibition era. So it had to be 20s, right?
I don't know enough. Whatever I
thought
haven't
it was
looked into.
30s or 40s. I thought it was World War II that he
Maybe, okay, pause. It was later 20s. Yeah, you're right. It was later 20s because I think one of the World Wars, the Second World War, was about to start or something like that, or it was
Okay.
coming up. Anyways, so this plane obviously just busted, horrible, failed. So when Henry Ford was about to die, he gave the land to his grandson, and his grandson just immediately sold it. And so it was known as one of basically the biggest failures of his entire career.
Dang. But you mentioned alcohol.
Yeah.
People weren't allowed to drink alcohol there. They weren't allowed to drink alcohol here either,
Well, yeah.
or smoke, but not on work. Like he had people hired at Ford to go to their houses
Yeah.
and to raid their houses and check for any alcohol or any cigarettes or anything like that. And if they had it, he was going to dock their pay by 1/2. And if it happened again, he would fire him.
My grandpa's dad
Nuts.
remembers that 'cause his buddy worked for Ford and he couldn't drink with him.
No shot, really?
My granddad was mentioning, he's like, yeah, my dad's friend worked at Ford and he eventually quit 'cause he was tired of not drinking.
My dad used to drive to New York to drink beer.
Hard.
Because my dad is from an era where the drinking age wasn't just 21. In New York, it was still 18.
Yep.
So he would drive to New York and.
I sent you the video I watched.
Oh, electric. Watch that pop up real quick. 3, 2, 1.
Bingo.
Bango.
What? Nailed it.
Yeah, so my dad's old. That's all I had to say. He's a beauty. Absolute tank.
My dad's getting up there. I was the last kid that worked. Actually, the only kid that worked out, but that was the last try. Hail Mary effort.
That's 48, so I can't add much to this conversation. But
I think Big Pop was 60.
Is he really? Good for him.
Up there. Dude, still active for 60.
Yeah, my dad ain't. Nah, I'm kidding. My dad.
your
My dad is
insanely active.
My dad's
He's
as
pretty
sharp as he
active.
can be.
What?
Grandpapa V, Beast. We were talking about him at dinner the other night, like all night. Huge military guy.
Yeah.
And well, my granddad fought in World War II, and like when I say like fought, like saw a lot of action.
Yeah.
Like-
Who was he? You know who he was with?
Um,
As in every military guy, I know way too much about the World Wars.
what do you mean with?
I mean, like
Like,
what
where was
branch
he?
and what unit?
The Army in the Philippines.
Yeah. Your granddad was in it.
Matter of fact, this is where Matty V is very biased towards dropping the atomic bombs, because my granddad was told he was in the front lines if they don't drop them. So he would have been in the front lines.
He would have died instantly, is what he would have done.
So, for sure, he would have died. Yeah.
I had a guy embalm me when I sorry. I had a guy embalmed the other day. He was in Vietnam. He was in a plane. He got shot down. Plane crashed. They came and got him. He was in a prisoner of war camp for 6 years and tortured and almost died multiple times. He was in the same war camp as John McCain.
Hard.
Fun fact. Super
A
cool
legend.
dude.
That is like.
Family super nice too. But he has so many medals and stuff. It was really cool to see that.
There's this one old geezer I met, and I was like, this old crafty dude. My dad was tight with him, and he literally said, "Shut you old fucker." He said that to my dad, and I was like, "Yo, bro, no, you're using a cane." And apparently my dad knew him back when he was like a pastor, and apparently this dude used to be a pastor, and I was like, and this dude talked to me, he like say like, "Hey, little shitter." I was like, they knew I was enlisted, like right when I enlisted when I met him. And I was like, yeah, Dad, who's this guy? Like, I literally was like, who's this old dude calling me a shitter? I was like, I'll go 1-for-1 with him if he wants me to. Old crotchety fuck. And so my dad was like, dude, go for it. I started shitting on him. We go back and forth. I already cussed 2 weeks. I was too late to not anymore. And he was like, oh, I was back in the Navy, back in Vietnam. I was like, sick? What'd you do? And he goes, he was like, this one's 30 for a Luke, so I don't look like it anymore, but I was a SEAL. And I was like a SEAL before people knew what SEALs were. And I was like, yo. And he's like, I don't really talk about it unless someone else is in the military and they bring it up. And I was like, I'm assuming it was rough. He was like, yeah, parachuting in a village, stabbing people in their sleep's not a great time.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean not a great time? And he goes, the title's kind of fun. He's like, in hindsight, it killed a lot of people. Probably shouldn't
Well,
have.
that's what Matt did at the church.
Yeah.
He was in Iraq, and like he was one of the main people that like went in and like just killed people all the time.
Yeah, the guy I work for now, obviously like this stage of combat for people that are in their 20s, whatever combat they live through is nothing like these old geezers that were like going house to house and just blowing people's heads off.
Yeah, the more we progress in military equipment, the less you are getting. The least amount of distance you're getting actually to the enemy.
Yeah. But he's one of the few people that doesn't lie about it. A lot of people I met that they're like, so my unit, when I got there, which is the worst luck I could have had, just got back from Afghanistan. And they were the last Marine Corps unit to ever go to Afghanistan. And they probably will be, because they did that pull out of that airfield that everyone saw on the news. That's all of my bosses. All the guys that were in charge of me.
Ever.
Yeah.
Well, 13 of them are.
Dude, verbatim. A person that will remain nameless because Dad doxed their entire life he was like, rest in peace, that yacht. He's like, biggest thing I've ever seen blow up in my life. I was like, dude, if there's a hell, bro, you're in the same bus as Hitler, dude. You can't say that. You can't, bro. It's like, I could say I wasn't there. I didn't know. I was like, I didn't.
There's
What?
no way.
He was like, I would have done anything to take her place, man. She was too bad. She deserved to live.
That's so sick.
That's such one of the sickest things I've ever heard. But that was my boss. But everyone there like claimed they killed someone, at least from my platoon. And when I got there for it, and then my boss told me the real story of what happened, and he was like, "Yeah, all that kill they're talking about, same guy." I was like, "What do you mean it's the same guy?" And he goes, they get there, they went like halfway hypoxic on the flight in. Like there's like not enough oxygen, and they're like all cold, hot. Well, not at a certain altitude you get cold, and you get really hot again because you're in Afghanistan, and you're in a C-130, literally with dudes sitting on top of you because there's no chairs. You're just like all laying on the ground in the back of this plane, dumped on an airfield. They haven't slept in like 18, 19 hours. They're running out into a combat zone, and there's hundreds of civilians running around trying to grab onto the plane. They're beating piss out of all of them. They're just beating civilians up, so they're trying to grab their stuff. And they were supposed to get reinforcements instantly. Didn't show up for 2 days. So they're sitting there, and there was like this water building. And it was before they had pushed out their lines and set C-wire, like barbed wire, to stop people from like trying to get in, so they could actually like search them. So before any of that happened, they're sitting out there, just people running rampant. People are just walking up, speaking Arabic, Pashtun, every bullshit language. And yeah, they're just clicking at them. They're like, "Yo, are you like good or bad, or are you Taliban?" Taliban? And people just go, "No." Like, yeah, I trust that. Two crazy things are one group of people did in fact get multiple kills, but the one kill they were all talking about was there is this dude, and they see him inside this little water hut that had like a water pump in it, and this building was like made out of like apparently like sheet metal, and they see this dude like stick an AK in the air and fire a couple shots in the air, and they're like, "That's Taliban." Right? Like
Obviously.
ROEs for them were told like, "Hey, don't shoot unless there's an imminent threat to your life." Because everybody looks like they're Taliban. If you kill people who look like a Taliban, you're gonna wipe out everybody, right? And if you tell a bunch of Marines if they look Taliban, kill them, bro. Population of Afghanistan drops by 10,000 within a day. So they would just mowed everybody down if they were told that. So they could only kill them if there was hostile intent to them. So they see an AK go up in the air, a couple shots, and they're like, probably Taliban. And then it apparently started to come down towards a line. 100 Marines-ish, from what I was told, standing arm's length apart. Just standing there, armed. And they see a rifle pointed in the direction by one dude. Every single Marine, at the exact same time, drops to the knees and yells, "Contact front!" And because
They all look the same guy. They all claimed it.
Every last one of them. My boss said he dumped 30 rounds. He said he sees this dude as the rifle comes down, just instantly. So there's a building next to him. He said the building goes up in shreds.
That's insane.
Everything in that general area, not machine gun fire, not automatic fire, semi-automatic assault rifle, ding, 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 ding. Everybody dumped an entire, because he said as soon as it happened, here everybody reloaded. Everybody in a line dumped an entire mag into this one dude, and he said there's a bunch of civilians in that building that are no longer on the same elemental chart as humanity. They are more metal than they are anything else, because they pulled the bodies out later. But this dude got turned into rice pudding. They cooked him. And everybody claims they killed somebody over there. I'm like, no, y'all did not kill somebody. Y'all wiped out a group of people together for no reason. One person should have shot him once. No, one person should have shot him 3 or 4 times to make sure he was dead.
Right.
You all shot him 30 times. Including the building next to him, including the people around him.
Oh.
And that's the one kill that they all talk about. They got their kill in Afghanistan. I'm like, no. You claim a kill. Claim one of the civilians in the building. You probably all missed them.
Could have got you the ham sandwich. Where I was going with my granddad, my dad was going through like a bunch, like his old military stuff, just like a box that he had. He came across a Japanese flag. He was like, "Why would he have this?" Right? So he asked him. He goes, "When'd you buy this flag?" He goes, "Buy it. We took it." Like, whoa. You know how close you are to take the flag?
I think that's not really a thing, is it?
They overtook them, and he got to keep the flag. So now it's in the museum in Norfolk.
That's so sick.
Yeah, so eventually, probably
I bet there.
soon, Jaden and I are gonna.
Yeah.
That's where I sail out from for Plymouth.
Well, Frick, go in there and look for Don Cleo Vicini the first.
I've been in there.
But when you
I
look
might
for
have
the
seen it.
Japanese
I might have
flag,
seen it and just not picked up on it.
His name's under, apparently.
I
Donated by.
probably looked at it and I was like, oh, cool flag, and walked away. Didn't realize how your granddad killed a bunch of.
Like, mowed him, yeah.
Yeah, they mowed him down. But one of the crazy things I heard from Afghanistan that I believe this like legit happened. Is that I heard it from multiple other people that did not communicate the story.
You just said
first.
multipler?
Multiple.
No, he said multiple different.
I
Multiple
thought
different
you tried to make multiple plural right there. Multiplers.
Multiplers people. All without the same time. They none of them but the same story got across to me. That you know what the ANA is? Like the Afghan National Army.
Oh, fair. I thought you were gonna say AA.
I don't know. No. I'll never know what those people are.
Quitters.
Yeah, that sounds like a bunch of quitters to me.
Son, this is where we can stop the editing.
The edit.
Alright. This was good.
Been real. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for having me on. It's our second one, and you've been on both of them. Sorry.
Well, you were like, hey, this is going to be a different guest every time. You're not going to be on again. I was like, all right, cool.
Oh, is that what I'm?
This second
Yeah,
podcast,
I just-
I'm in it. I don't think that's how this podcast works.
Stop that.
It's just you and whoever's not busy that day.
It's whoever would want to be on it, yeah.
No, I